I pushed only one button. Hi, everybody. I'm Terri Hardin, Walt Disney's legendary Imagineer, and I am in a good mood. I wasn't when I first broadcast for my tribe today, and I want to thank Terri's tribe, and that is my group on Patreon. And if you want to be a part of this amazing group of people who help each other when you're in your negative downtimes, and I can attest for that today because I was in a somewhat foul mood today, guys, about some of the things that are happening in the news. Shootings, hit and runs, a virus that may threaten not to listen to the vaccine, things that just break my heart. Murdering your own kids, too much for me. But thank goodness for Terri's tribe on Patreon because they got me into the bubble of Disneyland, which is what I want to talk about today. Did you get tickets? And do I have some things to help you if you didn't? If you still want tickets, my tribe has said they are available, and there are a couple of little tips and tricks. Well, there's one that I learned today that could help you keep your sanity. So I hope you'll join me. We're going to talk about Disney. You're welcome to ask me anything. You're also welcome to, in the comments, post your challenges with yesterday when you tried to get tickets. Okay? I'm going to talk about that today, definitely. I'm going to talk about the challenges. I had decided not to do Disneyland because the tickets are a valuable commodity right now. And I'm actually waiting for them to talk about pass holders because the day that I must go and hope I can get is, of course, the birthday, July 17th, which is not available as of yet. The tickets are only going on sale through June 30th. But I'm hoping that the fact that other amusement parks have done special things for pass holders, that later Disney will announce a new pass holder system that I can get my new pass and then be able to go and be a part of the birthday. So hopefully that's my wish. This is my Ask Me Anything. You can post them in the comments over here. Plus, my dear friend Leo Holzer has collected some. Most of them are from him because he keeps his finger on the pulse of what's happening today in all things fun and all things not so fun. I appreciate that. So a shout out and a thank you to Leo Holzer. But yeah, so Disneyland yesterday was the day everyone could get tickets, and it went everywhere from insanity to a cluster, you know what, to and everyone on my Patreon page, they just did not give up. And I want to thank them. I want to thank them for not giving up because they shared a lot of good little tips and tricks, and I thought that was great. So if you are on this broadcast, I'm not going to make you wait. It's only 3 minutes in, and I'm going to give you the tip, okay? So that if you've got stuff to do, you want to jump off and try this and get your tickets, you go and have a lovely weekend, okay? And you can always come back and watch me later. And if you are watching me later, post in the comments and let me know if you like it. And if you love it, please subscribe and hit that little bell so you can know, when I do it. Eventually, I'm going to do videos that will teach you some things, show you some of the things that happen behind the scenes here in my studio. But right now, what you would be watching is me insanely trying to get these ghosts, the next set of 5 ghost boxes prepped to get shipped to people. And this is also the month, if you ordered Blacklight ghosts, they're going to the adoptive parents too. So a big, big month that you will eventually get to take a peek behind the scenes. So please do that. Please subscribe. And also, if you want to keep in touch, and you can go to terrihardin.com, sign up, give me your email, and I will reciprocate I have done some really cute little sketches and drawings that you can download and keep as a thank you for entrusting me with your email. Right now, you're not going to get spammed because right now you barely get an email from me at all. But this is the place to land because the website is being worked on. And then eventually that'll be the first place where you get to know what's happening right away. Okay, so there are the announcements. I will say that I want to thank you for donating to my chalk walk. I surpassed my goal because all of you were so generous. And if you want to join the team, or you want to, if you want to be a part of the team, there's still time. You go to chalkwalk.org and you can walk virtually with us on May 22nd if you are so inclined. If you're not so inclined to do that, and you can use a scooter, you can use a treadmill, you can use a wheelchair, you can push your kids, your dogs, everything. This is one of the races. All walks of life get to do this because it's Children's Hospital of Orange County. So it's a really great one if you want to start, and it's super amazing. So let me also show you. If you want to donate instead, you can donate to me here. And thank you to all of those who did so. All right, without further ado, and only 6 minutes in, I am going to hide this and talk to you about what I learned on my Terri's Tribe live broadcast today. And that I have to do a shout out and a thank you to Melissa Eiler, because that beautiful young woman gave me a secret. And you may know this secret, but for those of you who don't, if you were struggling and you got upset and you just couldn't take it anymore because this Disneyland ticket thing was making you blah, 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 I found out 2 things. First of all, there are tickets still available. As of my broadcast this morning at 8:35, there were still days available, according to Leo Holzer. Thank you, Leo. That they still have dates in May and they still have dates in June. So basically, they still have dates, right? Apparently, April 30th is most likely sold out. That's opening day. And you may not be able to get June 4th because that's Marvel Day. But don't be discouraged because maybe you can. I don't know. Okay. The first clue was to get up at 2 or 3 in the morning. That's the first, not a cheat, but hey, here's an idea. You can get up at 2 or 3 in the morning, and it takes you about a minute to go through the process and get the tickets that you want. So you can do that. But if you don't want to wait, you really want them now, and you are a member of AAA, you can go online at AAA, order your tickets through AAA, and get this, guys, save some money. What? It won't be a lot of money, but you're saving money. You might get a free soda or popcorn, right? So it's worth it. And then you link it to your Disney account on the app. So you can then link the tickets to that and make your reservation. Isn't that cool? Isn't that cool? AAA. AAA. Discount, link to your Disney account, and ba-boom, you're there. Isn't that fun? And so many say they went right now to AAA, did it, no problem. No problem. Like right now. So if you are just champing at the bit here in California to go to Disney and you just got sick of waiting hours, which is what I heard. Robert Anderson told me he was on at 6:45 in the morning yesterday, and he did not get off till 1:30 in the afternoon. That is a wait. That is what I call a Run Disney kind of situation. You just keep trying, and then all of a sudden you hear it sold out and you get depressed, and it's just not cool. So it looks like there are plenty of tickets. Number one, go through AAA. That's AAA if you can. You'll save some money. And it seems to be fast. Fast. Like, shoo. That seems to be the fast pass, guys. At least according to my dear friend and tribe member, Melissa Eiler. So try it. What have you got to lose, right? Go for it. Yeah. I actually yesterday, the day before yesterday, I went on just to get a feel for the site. What is it took to get the tickets, and then what is it took to get the reservations. And at that time, all the days were open. They showed you a calendar and they showed you which park still had tickets, both California Adventure and Disneyland. And then you just picked your day. The thing that was a little challenging for me, which is why I had a lot of questions for my Patreon tribe today, is, how do you get your groups, your pods together? But according to Richard Anderson, you sort of designate a person to make sure they get all the tickets for the pod, and then I guess you settle financially when you're at Disneyland, but that's kind of what you got to do. So I was just trying to look to see how far I could go alone. What did it take to do the steps to go alone? And I got up yesterday and went in at 8:15 and just couldn't get in at all. So like many of you who posted on Facebook, it was impossible to get in. Here I was with you. And even though I was just wanting to report to you today what it took to do this, right? Apparently a lot. But now you have a couple of secrets. And one of the things you can kind of go, oh, I thought maybe the tickets were all sold out, because I did personally. Okay. You can now go back in and see if they are available to you. Okay. And I told you that only 10 minutes in. Yay! I'm also going to say that I've got a few stories for the dinosaur bling, and I want to encourage you to please email me and Terri at terrihardin.com to submit your story to get some dinosaur bling, okay? Because Dinosaur the TV show has now crossed over into the UK as of last Friday. So you guys can do it too. I mean, you didn't have to see the show in order to do it, but I think it creates, excitement. So UK, send me your stories, send me your love of dinosaurs. And at the end of this month, I'll do the giveaway, okay? I know I postponed it a month. I wanted to get more stories in, and I hope you'll tell me a story. It doesn't have to be long. Can be a little blurb. When I was a kid, I walked around saying not the mama and drove my parents crazy. That could be the whole thing. Okay. Or I passed it down to my kids and now my kids are driving me crazy. Whatever you want to say. You loved Robbie because he made you feel like you're special, or you loved Earl. I got, certain stories are just beautiful, and I'm not going to share them with you now. But I hope that you will come and enjoy the dinosaur bling. And I'm adding to it every day. And maybe on Monday, I'll show it to you again so that if you're interested. But I'd like to, I'm cleaning my garage. And so my dinosaur stuff is the bling that I want to give to both you and my patron. There's a lot of patrons that like it. But I'm thinking that, here, if you do a story, that it's going to be fun. I just want to hear your stories. Yeah, like that. And I also should make a tiny little announcement that there is, that we are hoping now that the pandemic is settling down, you might get a chicken sighting, and more on that later. Many of you are probably going, what? But those of you who know, that's all I'm going to say right now. Okay. All right, my love. So let's start with some questions. I'm going to intermix today. I'm going to try something a little bit different. Intermix your questions with Leo's questions so that you don't have to wait so long to get answers to your questions. And let me know if you like this better, okay? Or your opinion on it, all right? Because I'm always trying to fine tune it so that you guys are all happy. And I want to thank you for joining the channel as I see more and more people subscribing. And I'm not looking, honestly, full disclosure, right now, truth be told, from Disney's Legendary Imagineer, I'm looking for about 1,000 folks. Doesn't mean that at 1,000, if there's 1,001, I'm going to say, no, you can't come in. But I'm not looking for 1 million, okay? I'm not looking for thousands and thousands of people. Like, I just am not. I want to give you quality content. And right now, I feel responsible to each and every one of you to give you at least these lives consistently. But what I want to do is give you some more stuff in the future that you can look at. And what I did do that you might enjoy, or if you're subscribers, is I updated my playlist. So there's a playlist called podcast interviews. You can scroll through and click on my playlist that says podcast interviews, and you can see all the podcast interviews that I've done to date. I think I got most of them. There's a couple more that aren't in there yet, but I will put them in there. And as they become available, I will give them a shout out. And also you can click through and see them. If you're wondering what chickens, you can click on a playlist called Foster Farms. It will show you all the commercials that I've been able to collect to date in one place. So instead of, putting my name in the search box of YouTube and then going through and watching it that way, you can just go to my channel and watch it there. That's kind of what I'm doing right now while I work on creating content. The challenge that I have about creating recorded content is I want to make sure the camera is where you can see me work. And I have a terrible habit of getting in front of the camera and you're looking at the back of my head, which just doesn't work, does it? This is all stuff that's new to me. And I am someone who didn't have a computer, and the phones that I had when I was a little girl, I think, excuse me, I've mentioned it before, could be used as murder weapons. They weren't little computers you held in your hand and the all-in-ones. They weren't that, and I love that about it. So it's always a new adventure for me when it comes to this, which is social media. The main thing I've learned from people who talk to me about these venues is to breathe and relax and do the best you can, but be consistent, which is why my lives are consistent until I figure out exactly how my pre-recorded stuff can be optimum. So you're not, looking at the back of my head, trying to see around me at what I'm doing. So that's what's happening on my end. That's what's going on my end. So let's see what's happening in your neck of the woods, what kind of questions you have. And if you want to chat about Disney, feel free, because I'll tell you, it was so interesting to see what people were going through. And all I could think of was Run Disney, because when you go for a Run Disney race, it's the same way. And you get so frustrated if you're kicked out or you miss a question or whatever. It's just exhausting. So remember, AAA, if you remember, that could be your shortcut, and you get a discount for your tickets as well. This would also enable you to pull your party together. I was thinking that trying to get your party together while trying to find a date and get tickets is crazy. That's got to be a little. So with AAA, you could say to everybody, hey guys, PayPal me the money or send me a check or whatever, and then you buy them, or they can do that after. But the point is I bet you it's a lot more relaxing. I'll tell you, being a member of AAA makes me registering my car every year. You pay for that little sticker on the back of your license plate. That is a cakewalk now that I can just go to AAA and get it done there. It's so easy. So I think you might find getting your Disneyland tickets a lot less stressful if you are a AAA member and you can go through AAA. Okay? Yay! Also, for your Star Wars fans, and may the 4th be with you, I should say this before we get into the questions. There are several people on the Patreon page today in my tribe that are going on May the 4th, and Leo Holzer mentioned that they just might have a station in the park for these. You're like, what? Well, hold on. I'm going to grab them now. These right here. You know about these? I'm sure you do. On May the 4th, these will drop. These are postage stamps based around Star Wars. Those of you who saw the Villains postage stamps or Sesame Street or Muppets, same deal. These drop on May the 4th. And if you get an envelope with them canceled, that is called a first day cover. So according to Leo, at Disneyland, they may have such a station. And the thing that's really cool, and I will keep you posted on this, is that Leo is going to check it out and see if that's possible. Disney may get special permission to have a particular cancellation that shows that you got them canceled at the park. Wouldn't that be cool? So I will keep you posted. If you like these stamps, they are available May the 4th at a nearby post office near you. You can also get them canceled with the May 4th date. That is the first day of issue. There are also special cancellations, more on that later. But the main thing you want to know is that this is when they drop. And it would be great if on May the 4th they had something like that. So fingers crossed. I'll see. Leo's going to keep me posted, okay? Leo's amazing, Leo Holzer. So maybe he'll help us with that, and I can keep you more attuned to that. Now, if you're someone who really wants these stamps and you're going to Disneyland and you're not sure they're going to have a station, or you just don't want to fight the crowds early in the morning to try and get your stamps at the post office, you can go to United States Postal Service. So USPS.com, click on shop and pre-order them there. Then you can order as many as you want, and they will ship them to you as soon as the issue date passes. Okay, so on May the 4th, they're going to send you yours in a packet, and you don't even have to leave your home. So if you like these stamps and you want these stamps, Star Wars people, and again, you notice I'm doing this at the top of the half hour, so you don't have to sit through all the questions to ask about these. There you go. They run, what is it, $11 a sheet or something? Not cheap, but very nice. A very nice little investment. If you got the last set of Star Wars stamps, which I have framed, they should be here, actually. This would make a nice companion to those. You know, you could have them even together. In fact, I'm going to make a note on that because I want to ask my mentor, Michael Leslie, about that previous, because he's always talking about you can do cachets with the previous ones and the current ones. That could be kind of cool. Yeah. So thank you for helping me remember that, because I have a sheet of previous ones, and that could make a heck of a cachet, couldn't it? Yummy. Anyway, okay. So off to the questions. Let's get to you guys. Oh, Angie, of course I am. It has been a rough week. And as I mentioned before, a lot of people said they just don't watch the news. And I always watch it in the morning to see if there's any more cool news that I can share with you about parks or whatever. And the cool news is a lot more things are opening up, and it's really exciting. The sad news is there's a lot of hit and runs that are just devastating me. A woman who killed her 3 kids because she felt that they would be subjected to abuse by her husband. And she says the system would have taken them from her and given them to the very monster she believes to be her husband. So she killed her kids. Little babies. Awful. Also, the shooting at FedEx in Indianapolis. Devastating. Way too many of those. And stuff like that. So I heard all of that first thing in the morning, and my body just got more and more and more and more and more and more. Tag me out. Because I was getting more and more embarrassed to be a human being. And I think we're more than that. We are more than that. I don't know what drives us to that. I can't understand it, and thank God I can't. But it's a heartbreaker. It is a heartbreaker. So thank you to my team today for getting me out of that funk. That's what you do. You phone a friend. If you're in a funky mood, here's a clue. Phone a friend. Okay? Phone several friends. Let them help you get out of your mood, because your friends love you and you deserve to be happy. And if you're in that funk, which the pandemic can put you in, if you didn't get your Disney tickets, that could put you in there. That's why I'm here today to say it's not over yet. You can still get your tickets if you want to. You haven't lost. So this hopefully puts a smile on your face. And I'm really pushing for the birthday, July 17th, because I always go on there. I've only missed one day, and that was because I was shooting a movie at the time. So now I'm happy to say, yay! Hopefully I can get in, and I'm hoping passes is the process. I really am. So I'm praying for passes. I think one of the things that could make that happen is that Universal Studios did something for their pass holders, and there's a little rivalry you may have noticed, between Universal and Disney. So hopefully they won't be one-upped, and we'll hear about the passes soon, right? Hello again, Tamara. And good morning, Melissa. These are tribe people. See? Wonderful group. They just are so wonderful. Hello is from Capital. I will ask to know about the talking point. Okay, there's a couple of letters in there. I'm not from Cameroon. Thank you for joining us. That I get. And then feel free to ask me questions. I will do my best to decipher them. But welcome, Clinton. How nice of you to join me today. I'm very touched. And the first thing you do is hear me say, the news sucks. Isn't that nice? What's the matter with me, right? What are your thoughts on CDC saying if you got Pfizer shot, you may need a third and another one each year, but saying only the one, at least at this time? Angie, I think that's a given, don't you? It's like the flu shot, you know. They're going to have to keep developing. They're going to have to keep developing it because of all these strains that are out there. So today, one thing I did hear on the news, Angie, was that these strains are really kind of. Do you ever see the movie Andromeda Strain? It's one of my favorite movies. It's an older movie. If you haven't, you should. And the sound is. We always do that. We always do that whenever we see this. But the point is that it keeps mutating and being more and more difficult. In fact, today they announced that they're hoping it doesn't mutate into something that resists the vaccine. So Pfizer, Moderna, and J&J are working continually to see if they can get it to fight, you know, it fights most of these strains right now, but the strain is mutating at an alarming rate. And the president announced today that he set $1 billion or a couple billion, I just heard billion, towards this fight. Yeah. So I think it's a given that it's not a one and done, right? Or two and done in the case of Moderna and Pfizer, but at least we're on it. At least we're taking it seriously as a country, I think. And I appreciate that. I really, really do. Do I think it's a little insane as a state here in California to say we're going to open June 15th? I think is a little nuts. I would have liked to have heard Gavin Newsom and his team say October, and then if it worked in June, say surprise, kind of like the vaccine. Originally, he told people May the 15th would be when everybody 17 and over could get the vaccine. And now, as of yesterday, everybody could. So we're all like, woohoo, a month early. You see, it's just the nature of people. When you take into account the nature of people, we're a lot happier if you do it early. We hate when June 15th comes along and they go, oh, not quite. And you go, ugh. You see? That happens in all walks of life, guys. If you're in business and you're going to sell something and you can do it, say out there a little further. And then if you can bring it in early and surprise people, they're going to be so much happier. Just, it's our nature as human beings, right? So I wish Gavin had done that, but he was probably excited. He also is fighting a few political battles of his own. And so who knows what's in the head of a politician. But I do know it's crazy. I would not want to be any of them right now. And poor Dr. Fauci getting, put on the hot seat yesterday, like he doesn't have enough to worry about without getting in an argument with some. I mean, it's just like, please, guys, lay off. Don't you think they want to just say, lay off of me? But they're in the public eye, so they got to be careful. Just crazy. But anyway, to answer your question, CDC is doing exactly what they should, which is keep the fighting. Don't wait till we have another problem to try and put out a fire. Be a smoking a bear, as I like to say, and prevent these forest fires from happening. Yay, Leo Hoser, hope you're doing well. Thank you for your work you do on the AMA. Yeah, he's great. And he's the one who told me at 3:00 in the morning it was only a minute wait to get your Disney tickets. And my friend Robert Anderson, part of the tribe as well, said he did it at 2 a.m. And then bam. But then Melissa Eiler said, what I did, AAA. And she didn't sound like she had to wait till and what she said is, just to say it again, she went online, she went to AAA website, she booked her tickets, and then she linked them to her Disney account on the app. Okay. And the way it's working now, you have to have a Disney account on the app. Am I right? Or am I talking out of turn here? But I think you need that Disney account in order to get tickets. So there you go. It sounds easy peasy to me. It sounds easy peasy. I may, when I finish today, just go through the motions to see how easy peasy it is. But I trust Melissa. She says it's easy, and she says you can do this like right now. Go, dog, go. You see how I snuck that little Dr. Seussism in there? That's me. What else we got? Hi, Terry. We did it. The theme park gals are going to Disneyland May 2nd, and we got a vacation package at the California Grand. It only took us 11 hours. Ah! Bless your hearts. I love people who just don't give up. Congratulations, theme park gals. Wow. Did you need a drink after? I hear the Blue Bayou is going to start serving alcohol. Could this be the reason? Jiminy Christmas. Oh my goodness. Jiminy Christmas. That's what my father always said. Oh, congratulations, ladies. Good for you. Good for you. Congratulations. Okay, let's see what Leo asks since Bob Burdine said. Disney enthusiast. Well, here we go. This is perfect for you, theme park gals. Leo says some Disney enthusiasts waited longer than 12 hours to obtain tickets. See, you only had to do for 11 hours. And reservations for Disneyland and California Adventure Park during the restricted capacity. The reopening day is April 30th. All Saturdays in May, as well as the first Sunday in May, are booked to capacity. But there appears to be a good deal of unclaimed reservations, Sundays, weekdays, and every day in June. Whoa! Now, that may not pertain to June 4th. You'll have to look because, of course, that's when the Avengers is opening in California Adventure Park. And you can park hop. I don't know if I mentioned that, and I don't, many of you Disney enthusiasts already knew that. But words of wisdom do you have to share with those who couldn't wait in the queue and gave up? You see? Before I even read the question, I gave you those words of wisdom, okay? Be patient, be real, like the theme park gals, and stick it out, right? Because Leo is giving you another secret. There's still spots available, and when in doubt, do it at 3 a.m. And if you're a member of AAA, you can do that right now. That, to me, sounds aces. Yep. That sounds good to me. So there you go. There's my words of wisdom on that. While we're on the subject of Disney, Leo says, I thought it'd be a great day to ask you a handful of questions about the park. See, here's my cheat sheet. This is where I get the questions. Print them out every morning on Friday. Okay, so let's see. It's all but certain Disneyland has had enough time to do state-mandated coronavirus closures to make its changes to Splash Mountain, replacing the Song of the South elements with ones from Princess of the Frog. Did they do that for real? That's interesting. What does that look like? What are your feelings about this? And should Disneyland have given its mini fans one more summer season before making the change? Well, we talked about this on... I know I keep going back to the Patreon page, but here's the thing about Terry's Tribe and the Patreon page, okay? $5 a month, you can be a part of it, okay? And you saw me post where to go, right? Patreon.com/Terri Hardin, okay? But here's the thing that we talked about, and that is that ride had some old stuff in it, didn't it? I mean, it had the America Sings figures, which were lovely to see, but the America Sings figures were from the past, and they were actually in the carousel of, not the carousel of progress, it was called something else, but they were looking a little tired. So maybe this will be a good thing if it's already been done. And I did not hear that. I was more excited about the Hitchhiking Ghosts refurbishing the Haunted Mansion. Did you hear that? That the Hitchhiking Ghosts are up to their thing. Graveyard apparently has got a nice polish, and the mansion got a nice polish. And inside, there's a few things that weren't there that are there now. So that's exciting. But back to Splash Mountain question. Let's keep an open mind, okay? If it's already done, we can't make it go back. So let's keep an open mind. Do I think they should have done it so quickly? Honestly, it's like I said before. In The Karate Kid, the amazing sensei, Pat Morita, says, walk down the middle of the road, squish, okay? He says, walk to the right, safe. Walk on the left, safe. Walk in the middle, squish. Okay. This is the clearest I can be. When you try to please everybody, you can get squished. Okay. Take a point of view and stick with it. Because honestly, if people really didn't like Splash Mountain, they didn't have to ride it, did they? I disagree that it was racist, but I disagree that it was racist. Okay. So they kept a lot of the stuff out, and I think that's what's happening with Princess and the Frog if they do it. They kept saying they were probably going to downplay the voodoo aspect, because guess who that offends, guys? So when you go to Disneyland, and I will not be going until the birthday will be my earliest day, should I be able to get a pass to get in. Because as an Imagineer, it's not a cakewalk anymore. There are restrictions on everybody. And since I'm the come here, get away, Imagineers, there's more restrictions on moi. So there's no guarantees that I'll get in. Okay. Just so you know, they're not playing favorites. They are playing a little bit of favorites. Let me take that back. They're letting cast members in for a preview. They're doing special preview day for cast members. And get this, what Disney did. They included those that were on furlough. Yep. You heard it here first. And it's not even an hour yet. But yeah, they did not apparently do this for Taste of Disney, because my question was, if you do any special things, who's going to work it? You know, like first thing I asked is if cast members are getting a special, then who's working the park? But apparently they're shifting around and juggling. And furlough ones may not be back yet, but it gives them hope that they will be soon. Okay. And this is also good news. So that sounds exciting. So they are doing special things for cast members. But as far as anything else, the rest of the people have to wait and take their turn. Just like you. Yeah. Yeah. So there you go. So as far as Splash Mountain is concerned, if it has been redone and refurbished, let me know. And if it is Princess and the Frog, let me know if you like it. Let me know if you like it. Okay. And if you're a person of color, like myself, let me know if you think that it does for you what people say it's supposed to do for people of color. Does it, or does it kind of miss the bill? Because my feeling is this, guys, as a person of color, I'm mixed races. My dad's black, my mother's white. I think I kind of felt like Disney went like this and said, where can we find a black princess? Where can we find a black princess? Oh yeah, that'll work. And there's only like one, right? So that feels a little weird to me. Okay, that feels weird. It's kind of like the story I told you about my father who got into radio because the people at the radio station where he was pulling phone lines as the first phone man in Hollywood, they didn't know any other black people. So they chose my dad. And my dad is super nice and wonderful and amazing. But he was the only black man they knew, and they needed to bring a black man into radio at that time when my dad was pulling, wire for the phones. And he went through that door without hesitation and became a record spinner for Roger Carroll and Gary Owens at KMPC Radio. And it was wonderful. But that's kind of the feeling I'm getting, and my dad was feeling the same thing. In fact, my dad and I talked about, and I'm digressing now. This is where Terri goes off the rails. Okay, ready, look out. See, patrons, tribe, you put me in a good mood. Thank you for that. Anyway, my father and I had a discussion not too long ago. I have not physically seen my dad in over a year because we're protecting ourselves until I get my 15 days after my second vaccine done, which will happen in May. And one of the happiest, most joyful days for me is going to be taking my dad to see my mother in the convalescent hospital. He has not seen her in over 15 months. Yeah, that's going to be fun. And for some reason, he can go on his own, but he seems a bit hesitant. And I told him if he wanted to wait, just let mom know that when I'm done in May, we'll go and we'll bring her lots of donuts and coffee and celebrate the fact that we can get together finally. I mean, this is going to be just wonderful. That's when I'm going to get emotional. Okay, is I get to see my mom and dad, which just live so close and yet they're so far. I mean, I know you all can identify, right? But we were talking on the phone. We talk on the phone consistently, and you know, just to touch base because my dad lives alone, and I want, you know, he's got a lot of people who love him though because he's amazing. Okay, so everybody brings him food. In fact, he says he has so much food he gets worried about it spoiling because everyone wants to make sure this wonderful, joyful, elderly Black man is taken care of. And to that neighborhood for doing that. But my father and I were talking about how mixed people are in vogue now. Yeah. Okay. For years, we were shunned because we were mixed. Okay. Words like mulatto and half breed are used. And now, because of all of this Black Lives Matter stuff that's happening, this are you taking sides if you hire a white person? Are you taking sides if you hire a Black person? All this kind of weird stuff in the industry. All they want to do is make their movie, okay, or their TV show. But my auditions are up easily by 50%. Why? Because I'm mixed. So both camps seem to be covered with mixed races, and my dad and I were just laughing. You know, it just goes and show you that God is God. He's not going to change you, but he's going to change the attitude often around you about you from society and people. And not that you care what people say or do, but this is just craziness to me. This just makes me laugh. That the reason my auditions are up as an actor is not because I'm so wonderful, but because I'm half Black and look white. Seriously. Yeah. We had to giggle. This is the way my family works. We just giggle. Really? You know, I became a puppeteer because you couldn't see me and people wouldn't hire me because of the way I looked way back in there, because I looked like I was mixed. And then all of a sudden, I became exotic. You know what I'm talking about. If you're mixed, you become exotic and you're like, who turned that light on? You know, and you're just like, okay, I'm exotic. Or some were like, you know, but me, I embraced it because that's the way my father taught me, is embrace anything that gives you a leg up, take it. And so I'm grateful. I'm grateful. Have I landed any parts? Not yet, but you know, I'm good. I'm good. I'm just, yeah. And I'm doing something that has nothing to do with moving forward in my work. I'm painting. And I think I mentioned, and I showed you my first painting that I did of me. If you did not get to see that painting, I will be happy to show you again. I was not good with acrylics, and my husband bought me acrylics so I could try again. When I did it the first time, I was so bad I gave up. I mean it. I said, I must be a sculptor, and that's all I get to do is sculpt. But I like sculpting because when I want to create a likeness, I just turn the sculptures around and sculpt that side, and sculpt this side, and sculpt this side, and then turn it around and sculpt this side. Okay. In a two-dimensional area like a canvas or a piece of paper, I've got to squish all that three dimensionals down into, and I'm always admiring people who do it. I can draw. You've seen some of my work, but that still is a challenge. And when painting, it was even more of a challenge. And so my husband bought me these paints so that I could just do something new, because during the pandemic, I was having these little meltdowns. Maybe you can identify. You're having meltdowns because there's so much to do. Right now, I have Blacklight ghosts to get out. I have the next 5 illumination ghosts to get out to their adoptive parents. They have not arrived from the manufacturer yet, but I'm prepping. Okay, I'm prepping. So I don't know. I think it will. Camera 3 will show you back here. You see that stack right here? These are the liners for the next 5 hitchhiking ghosts. They're waiting for the arrival, but they're not done yet. I still have to cut each and every one of them. And most of the time, what I'd be doing is inviting you to come do that with me. But because of the pandemic, I got to do it all by myself. Every month. But on top of that, I have more stacks over here for the hitchhiking black lot ghosts because they've got to go out too. 2 different experiences I have created. So the experience of the illumination ghost is different from the experience of the black light ghosts. I have to deal with that. And on top of everything else, seriously, on top of everything else, I've got to deal with sales tax. No complaining, okay? But it can make you a little nuts. A lot nuts. And sometimes you just pull the covers over your head and go, please stop. I just want to binge watch a few movies. Or you become angry because people are complaining because they're so bored because they binge watched 1,000 movies and you can't because you're creative and you're creating everywhere. But I don't. I love you guys. Because like I said, last night, I took a couple of times off and we watched some old Godzilla movies. Woo! Yay! So, ding! But back to the painting. So now, my husband buys me these paints, these wonderful acrylic paints that I'm so excited to own. And I want to learn how to use them, and I want to learn how to use them correctly. And now, thank you to the magic of things like YouTube, as you all know, it can help teach you to do stuff. And I'm so excited because I learned some new stuff, and I love learning stuff new. I am an obsessive creative. So I see something and I want to do it, and I got to be careful. I got to pull that back because I'll have a million projects and I won't finish any of them because I just love starting stuff. So I did this painting. And what the teacher told me, I went online and I got this. What the teacher told me is to first take a photo of myself. So I took this photo right here. This is my photo. Now, the camera that you're looking through is probably making me a lot more pink than I actually am. My husband explained to me that the camera does weird things to photos when it's not the best camera, okay? But, this gives me what I need. So the teacher said, pick a photo, and I chose me because, not that I'm narcissistic, but I chose myself because I didn't want people to complain if it didn't look like them. This is my very first painting. I had no idea what this was going to look like. Acrylics last time were a disaster with me. So then I painted my picture, and this is the finished portrait. There it is. Woo-hoo! It actually looks like me. Now, let me tell you a couple of things about this painting that really excites me. It's my first one, and it looks like me. Okay, that's number one. Number two is I've discovered I love things coming out of darkness. And one of the things many of the teachers tell you is that extreme light and dark, play with that when you're painting. Now, it's not perfect. It has... I don't know. There's things about it that could be improved. I don't care. I love it. It's my first one. Leave me alone. Right? And it's not, somebody actually asked me if I was going to sell it. And I was like, it's my first painting. What? Because that was not my intention. That was not my goal. My goal was to see if I could do it. And I'm so happy because my husband, my hairdresser says it doesn't look exactly like me. Don't care. I really don't. My husband says there might be a little idiosyncrasy that's different from me. Don't care. It looks enough like me that I think it looks like me, and it's my first painting, you see? So it taught me to chill, all right? Just relax and enjoy the experience of the paint actually doing what I wanted it to do for the first time in my life with acrylic paints, these little monstrous paints that dry way too fast. And I was a little afraid of them because last time I made a disaster. I could not get the paint on the canvas before it felt like it had already dried. That's how crazy it was, And it helped me to realize, this is one of the reasons I love painting, because I'm zero, guys, no previous. I paint my figures that I sculpt. That's different. Okay, if you got Stitch, you paint the little blue dots, and you paint the little purple, and you paint the little cute's tummy, and his little book, and the little duck on the book. It's not the same. It's acrylics, but it's not the same thing. You're actually moving and manipulating paint on a flat surface to make it look three-dimensional. And personally, I'm really excited about this painting, right? So I'm on to my next one, and a different teacher, because I want to see different teachers, because I want to eventually teach puppets, and I already teach pumpkins, and I want to teach you how to do puppets, and I want to teach you how to draw, and I want to teach you how to sculpt, and I want to do it on this YouTube channel that I'm broadcasting from now. But I want to know the best way to serve you. And so I have been studying other teachers, as well as taking from other teachers and evaluating what I like and what I don't like. Okay. So that I can do a really good class. So those are coming, and that's what I'm feeling. Okay. That's what I want to do. Okay. That's my goal. Okay. Yeah, is to do that. Now, in my pumpkin classes, which October is coming, it'll be here before I know it. And I did my first virtual classes last year, and it was wonderful. It was great, but there are some improvements I can make. One of the things I learned about the class was I have people who sculpt the pumpkins that worry it's not looking like it. And as they are sculpting into the pumpkins, they get really scared because it doesn't look like it. And I tell them to light them. I'm all about teaching pumpkins. I don't really work hard to progress on my own sculpting of pumpkins. It's just not in my wheelhouse. I would much rather teach you and your journey to do better pumpkins, right? So what I thought to do, at the time, my thought was, let me see if I can find them. I'm not sure I can find them, but I'm going to try. Where is it? Gonna see if I can find them. But my point is this: when I watch people struggle with the pumpkins, I learned. There it is. Okay, I do have it here. I did a new technique last year, and it was my friend Mark Maniac on Instagram. If you want to see what he does amazing work. Mark was doing this technique where you etch the front. You've seen it, where they etch people's images and things on the front. And so I decided to keep it simple and wanted to do a picture of my dog on the front. And I asked Mark why he doesn't do one in full light, because if you look at his Instagram page, they're all in the dark because he carves to the light. That's the best way to do it. But I decided in the light like this to map it out. And this is what my pumpkin looked like. And doesn't it look awful? It looks awful. So all of a sudden I felt like, oh my gosh, I see what my students see when they're carving the way that I teach them to carve. They see awful like this, and they're kind of like, icky. But when I say to light it, they go, oh, and this is what happened to me. Look what happened when I lit it. Isn't it adorable? Whoops. Isn't it so cute? Again, guys, before, after. So even though I'm teaching and your pumpkin may look like garbage, when you light it, it can look like this. And I've done no changes to it, except put a light inside. It looks like rocket. And so I learned that this is exactly the coaching I should be giving to my pumpkin sculptors or to my drawers and illustrators, is keep going. It's not going to be. And so I have developed classes and things that you can get together with me and work one-on-one, or get together with me. And I want to be sure to do the video courses, because those are going to be a lot less expensive than working with me one-on-one. And that way you can kind of learn if I'm someone you want to be instructed by without paying, because I do have these retreats that I do. I did them before the pandemic, and they run about they're $1,997 to be with me for a weekend and work on making a living doing what you love, or just exploring your inner artist. But that's because I only take 10 people. Just 10 people. And we break bread together, we eat food together, we take hikes together, we sculpt, we do all kinds of creating together, but it's only 10. And we're usually at a nice cabin, or we're at a nice location where we can enjoy nature and get out and create, and also talk about making a living doing what you love, if that's what you want to do. But my second retreat was one where artists got together and just explored the various different things that I know. So we made puppets, and we drew, and we painted, and we did all kinds of cool stuff. It was a huge success. But it stopped. I only do 2, and it stopped as of the pandemic. And so in 2022, we'll probably fire them up again. So if you're interested in something like that, you can do that. But if that's a little too rich for your blood, I get it. And if it is, then that's why I'm working on these videos that you can do. And they might be like, I don't know. I don't know what the price is going to be. I'm not going to say it because I did this before with the ghost and it was a big mess. So, but basically stay tuned here, or go to terrihardin.com and sign up on the email, and I will keep you guys posted. As the website gets better, I get better. Everything is, what did I say in the beginning? Take a breath. Just realize if you're feeling a little down, you're feeling a little frustrated because you couldn't get those farging tickets, you still have time. Take a breath, zen out, have a cup of coffee or tea or something, and then go right back in that ring and get those tickets, those Disneyland tickets. Don't let them defeat you, because you can do this. You can absolutely do this. But sometimes we don't know that we should just chill for a minute. And this pumpkin taught me to do that. And that painting taught me to do that. And now I'm on my way to number 2. In fact, my friend who paints, my colleague and my friend who does the painting of a lot of my figures, because he's brilliant, before I sell them, he said, go bigger. He was so cute. He's like, I love this painting, right? And then he said, because my painting is only this big. It's 12 inches by 12 inches, because that's the canvas I had, right? But he says, Terri, I think you should go bigger. Your next one should be bigger. Go big, be bold. Go big. And I was like, why was I like that? I don't know, but I was like, bigger. But I'm going bigger. So 12 by 12 inches was my first one. And my second one, which is also a portrait, not of me, I'm kind of done with the me thing. I'm doing a portrait, and the portrait is called, right now, the working title is, what did I say the working title was? The working title was Sword Master. And I don't know if that's going to stay, because Sword Master kind of sounds like someone who works a sword well. And I want it to be about the artisan that is the, what do they call it? I guess they would call that the I don't know what you would call that. But anyway, that I may change the title because I want it to be about the ultimate sword maker. And I've based it on this elderly character that makes swords. And it's just a kind of a casual picture of him with one of his swords. And it's right now called Sword Master. But like I said, that doesn't really make it sounds like someone who fights well, as opposed to someone who actually makes the best swords in the world. Like Michelangelo does a lot of the best paintings. So I'll work on that. And then I have another one in the hopper called Chosen, and it is about a guardian angel. So I am painting an angel, and it's called Chosen. Right now it's called Chosen. I don't know if Chosen will stay, but I kept thinking that guardian angel means like maybe it should have more of a fighting stance in the painting. And then I thought if it was at your service, my angel is a person of color, and kind of resembles my dad a little bit when he was younger. And so I don't want it to be at your service, because I don't want people to be offended by the title. So right now, Chosen is the working title on that one, and that's way down the way because I'm going to do my sword guy first. But I'm so excited because I'm in it to win it and find my style. That's the word. I'm trying to find the style. Okay. I know I don't want to do hyper realistic. So when you step back, it looks like a photograph and you can't tell which is a painting, which is a photograph. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do it like a movie poster because you've got so many people that do such great work in the movie posters. I looked at the guy who painted the Stranger Things posters. They're gorgeous. They're fabulous. They're wonderful. Don't want to do that style. That's his style. Okay. And Struzan, I think his last name is Struzan, who did those old Indiana Jones posters and things like that. Stunning, wonderful. Don't want to do his style. Want to find my style. And the way you find your style in any kind of endeavor is to copy the masters. And if you copy the masters and then you pull away from the masters, so you start out by copying and not exactly, but to see what the muscles are doing. And then you put that away and you just see what kind of memory your muscles have. But it's going to be a very interesting journey because I'm going to try this next one, which is all about acrylics and the properties of acrylics and how to do it with this guy from Korea. And he's wonderful because as you are learning, he tells you about how acrylics were made, why they were made, what makes them special, what makes them not so special. You get the little history. And usually some people don't even care. They just like, let me paint. But, here it is. So sorry, I got on another tangent, but it's all about trying something new. You're in the pandemic, try something new. And you don't have to show it to everybody. I show it to people. I just showed it to you if it looked like nothing like me, and told you I need a little work. I got to take another class, This is the real challenge because I went 18 by 24 inches. That's big for me. Okay. I'm like this big, right? And his face is like that big. It's like really big. And I'm like, I'm excited, scared and excited. Yeah. That's the good thing to have is that little mix of drama when you get ready to do your first painting. First thing I have to do is what they call prep the canvas. So I'm doing that today. But anyway, I digress. Sorry about that. No, I'm not. All right, let's do a couple more Leo questions and then we'll get back to your questions. What is your favorite attraction in each land and why? Ooh, that's a big one. Okay, all right. Let me think of my map. I like the hub because if you stand in a certain place, the hub looks a little bit like a small profanity. You'll know what I mean when you go stand to the, what is it? I think Walt holds Mickey with his left hand, is it? And if you stand on the side, Mickey's at a height that does not make Walt look well. But I love that. I just love those kind of secrets. Okay, so that's good. Fantasyland, my favorite ride is Mr. Toad's and will always be Mr. Toad's. It's the first ride I always ride because I get to go to hell and live to tell about it. I love Mr. Toad's. I've loved it ever since I was a little girl. It's my favorite ride. Don't you dare take that one out. I love that ride so much. In Toontown, my favorite ride they've taken out, which is the kid coaster. I could barely fit in it, but I sure did love that kid coaster. Nice and mild and fun and sweet and cute and full of little kids, which is one of my favorite things. On Main Street, my favorite thing to do was to sit. It's no longer there because it's a Starbucks, but I used to sit and play checkers next to the big boiler. They've kind of done a pseudo area, but it's not the same as the original marketplace. So I like it, but it's not where I hang out like I used to. If we go into Tomorrowland, it was the rocket ships until they brought them on the ground. They used to love to go up the gangway into the rocket ships and fly over Disneyland. I do that in Tokyo whenever I visit because Tokyo has left them up there. So I love that. Now my favorite ride, and it was Captain EO when it was there, but it's no longer there. So I have to say in Tomorrowland, it is most likely It's most likely maybe Flight to the Moon because I still like the way the chairs go when you take off. So I like that a lot too. I love looking at the little theater where you see the old films and the Steamboat Willie in the front of the park, and Mr. Lincoln is cool. In Frontierland, it's Big Thunder. Obviously, I love riding Big Thunder. Used to love the country bears in Critter Country, but they're gone now. And I liked Splash Mountain, especially when it was hot. I love the Haunted Mansion very, very much. Never miss the Haunted Mansion. And then the Jungle Cruise, which I brought at the end, but we always save the best for last. Jungle Cruise, Jungle Cruise, Jungle Cruise, Jungle Cruise, Jungle Cruise. I will ride that a gazillion times. When I was a little kid, I did. But that's because of Blaine Gibson, and he was the chief sculptor of those pieces, and that's what motivated me to become an Imagineer. So those are my rides. If I missed a spot, I apologize. I'm looking through my brain, through my mind's eye, and saying, did I miss anything? I also like Alice's Adventures into Wonderland, except for that they put those areas. I used to love swinging out over emptiness in the Caterpillar carts, and now of course they put those little horrible dishes there so you can't see down, so that's not as fun anymore. And then I love the Matterhorn. I mean, of course, who doesn't love the Matterhorn? So that's super cool too. So yeah, I tend to like just about every ride at Disneyland. Favorite restaurant was the Tahitian Terrace, but they took that out. Have you seen a pattern here? Then I like the ranch barbecue, but they took that out. So it's a lot of, I like but, and then I little but, and then but, So now I love eating at Club 33, duh. And then I like the Blue Bayou. I'm not so sure they should serve alcohol. I kind of like that being exclusive to Club 33, but maybe it works. The train, of course, is always fabulous. When in doubt, the train and the People Mover. Oh, yeah, that's gone too. And Country Bears and Mr. Lincoln were places you could rest while you were kind of regrouping yourself to go out and do more rides. Of course, Galaxy's Edge, I think, is a little too dry for me. This is California, and if it's hot, it's very uncomfortable. And if it's in Florida, it's always uncomfortable. So it's kind of like, why didn't you put more trees? We were discussing that yesterday on my Patreon page, on the Zoom call, actually. So, but I do like the build your lightsaber. That is my favorite thing. I love doing that. I did it once and I absolutely loved it. And I'd love to talk my husband into doing it. And if he didn't want to keep the lightsaber, we would just sell it for a really good price on eBay. Sell it for your experience, and now plus the ticket price, if it's there. I don't know if they're going to allow you to do that. That may not be open because of COVID, but wow, what a fun thing that was. That was just so much fun. And the lightsaber is so awesome. Many people go into that room where you just buy them outright, so you can get the 2 lightsaber one that other characters use. Several characters now have used it besides the ones that I remember. But you buy it for $300, and yay, that's great. But I really much rather build mine. Again, I just love those experiences. But they have something for everybody because Disney's not stupid, are they? And I did get myself an orange flight suit because the flight suit is really cool. I got that when I had a super sale quite some time ago. And I'm reworking it because, that flight suit kind of covers several bases. So I kind of like it. I really do. And it's made well. Yeah. I hope that question is answered. What have you got here? Okay. All right. Let's get back to you. Yesterday, Jill says, on at 8:10 until 7:30 p.m. Got my tickets for my birthday. Jill, congratulations. Jill, congratulations. And I'm looking at your name. Is your name really McCupcake? Because that's adorable. You're making me hungry, though. You know that, Jill. I bet you people's mouth water every time you say your last name is McCupcake. If that is truly your name, which why would I think it's not? Look, I'm even celebrating because who doesn't love cupcakes? So everyone must just love you, Jill. Congratulations and happy birthday early. When is your birthday, Jill, if you're still on here? I would love to know when your birthday actually is. Theme Park Gal says, we got in a waiting room at 6 a.m. on 9, get this, guys, 9 different devices. And they still were 11 hours waiting. I mean, what do? Do you doubt that maybe there's some sort of glitch and that you may have done something wrong and you're in oblivion? You know, kind of when you used to do those call-ins to win $1,000 or whatever, and the wires got crossed and they, if you like to make a call, I don't know, I may be dating myself again, but I remember one time I called in and another lady called in and we connected some weird thing and we got to talking to each other. We never got to the radio station. It was pretty funny. So I always kind of doubt this. So I'm really proud of all of you for just hanging in there. Jill says, miss the black light ghost. Can I still get and how? Please and thank you. Jill, let me show you. You are so sweet to ask. Okay, so I will show you my hitchhiking blacklight ghosts. Ready, Jill? Okay, here we go. I'm going to hide your comments so you can really see them, Jill. I hope you're watching. Here they come. That's not them. These are them. These are the blacklight ghosts. And they are available. You can go to terrihardin.com, click on online store. It'll take you directly to my online store, and you can look around all you want and purchase these if you want. If you have any trouble, Jill, message me on Facebook, okay? Just message me directly and say, Terri, I'm having a challenge, and I'll walk you through it, okay? I've walked a couple other people through it. So, and if you want this set, it's still available. Yes, it is. Because I haven't really been marketing it like my blacklight ghosts, like my illuminating ghosts, because the illuminating ghosts, I only have 10 sets left. And I do have this concern that somebody out there like you is going to say, I missed them, and they're going to be sold out. Not the blacklight ghost, but the illuminating ghost. So I was just like, I do this every time I create something. So I get worried, but the blacklight ghosts are still available, Jill. Again, you go to terrihardin.com and click on the bar above. It says online store. It's going to take you directly to my store, and you can look at that for there. Okay. And order them. And then they're going to get to you faster than the illuminating ghost, because the illuminating ghost, the manufacturer can only do 5 at a time. 5 sets at a time. So I've got everybody on a conveyor belt of adoptive parents. And this month is April, and the 5 that get them from April, and off they fly as soon as they show up, which is why I'm frantically doing that padding to make sure that all I have to do is pull them out, test them out, pop them in, and ship them as quickly as I can, because I know that the illuminating people are waiting. But I also have to do that for the blacklight ghosts, which will be before the end of this month. Please. A lot of work for one person. Like I said, when I do stuff like this, I usually invite you guys over to be with me, and we have like a party doing this, because so many of you want to come over and see what it's like and be a part of it. And I don't mind. I love the help, and you're just doing it out of the goodness of your heart. But with the pandemic, I have to do it all by myself. So sooner or later, I can get back to doing that. And I look forward to having you guys around and getting together. Richard Barnes says, if you were allowed to do anything, sky's the limit as far as changes to any Disneyland attraction, what attraction would you choose? Any hints of what you would do? I think every castle should have a different dragon. Not because I'm so good with dragons. But then that doesn't make Paris special anymore, does it? So they would have to be different dragons so you could tour the different dragons. But for real, Richard, this is what I would do. Anything, sky's the limit. I've said this to my tribe often. And that is that I feel that there's a couple of places where Disney could really fine tune and make it make it really cool for guests. Okay. I traveled to the Aulani in Hawaii, which is a beautiful hotel. They need some work on their restaurants. Their restaurants are not good food, but they need to work on those. But I digressed. The Aulani said they felt like a third world country when it came to Disney cast members. They're on an island. They're separate. They don't feel like they're as included as the mainland. That really struck me, and I decided that I feel the same way I do with the Disney cruise ships, okay? Now, you may be asking about parks, Richard, but this is my obsession. I would love to design for every individual Disney cruise ship a set of collectibles that you can only get on said cruise ships, and a special set you could only get at the Aulani. I think Disney's missing out, and I would like to be that contributing sculptor. So if I were in charge at the Aulani, I definitely would do some very exclusive and wonderful Lilo and Stitch, because Lilo and Stitch, of course, is Hawaii. And why not do some very nice exclusive merchandise that you can only find at the Aulani, you can only get at the Aulani, a lot like you can only get at Club 33. Then if you are on the Disney Magic, exclusive water-based attractions, films. So you could do 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. You could do Nemo. You could do Moana. You get it, right? Little Mermaid, you get it, right? So assign each vessel subject, the Little Mermaid subject, the Moana subject, and stuff like that, because collectors love to do all the ships anyway. You guys are crazy to try all the ships in a Disney cruise. You want to do them all. And you love the Aulani. Even if you can't stay there, you go visit it. So personally, this is what I would like to do, is start to create experiences that are specific to each and every vessel with merchandise. Because one of the things I've noticed going vessel to vessel, and I haven't forever, of course, is that you love these special things. You go crazy for something you can only get there. And it doesn't have to be expensive. It could be a special set of pins. It could be little sculptures like I do. It could be big stuff. It could be investing stuff. You're investing in real art. I think Disney's missing the boat here. But honestly, that's what I do. I really appreciate you asking me this question, Richard, because this is what I want for collectors. If I'm going to talk about attractions, I would like to see Star Wars cut away from Disney. I think it should be its own park, and then you expand on it as best you can. And I think if you're creative, you could really do that. And who's more creative than the Disney Imagineers, right? If anyone could make this happen, it's Disney Imagineers. If anyone could make this happen, it's Disney. So personally, cut Star Wars away from Disneyland, make Disneyland more, I don't know, a few Disney things that aren't so, I don't know, product placement, in my opinion. And I love Star Wars. Star Wars is my jam. I love it. I just think you could make a whole new world with Star Wars. I really do. And there's so many opportunities to do things inside Disneyland and California Adventure that pertain to, especially after seeing Disney Plus, look at all the cool things that they could put in there. Anyone interested in where Tinkerbell lives? Any kind of a thing you could do with that? Because I'll tell you, Peter Pan's flying ship is awfully populated with people. People love that ship. There's always a big line whenever I go, right? So that's what I'm saying. I'm saying that that's what I think should be done. And I'd put the rocket ships back up, because that's what rocket ships do. I guess I ought to hit that again. Yeah, let me hit that again. Make sure it's nice and hot. I'm just remaking myself a cup of tea. But that's my point. Okay, I'm serious about this. This is my absolute point on this, is that the rocket ships fly in the air, so they should have stayed in the air. I know you can get more people, but it becomes a carnival ride on the bottom like you can do at other places. And Disney is about experience. You want to know about your experiences. Disney we talked about this before. I think calling Disney an amusement park is weird because it really isn't. You're experiencing things. You're going into different lands and experiencing different things. It's not just jumping from one ride to another. Even if that's what you choose to do, it's not really about that, is it? It's about the experience in every place. And I'd like to see that happen more. Yep. I hope that answers your question, Richard. Richard also says AAA has great discounts on so many things. We take advantage of it whenever we can. So let me ask you this, Richard Barnes. Did you take advantage of it to go to Disney, or are you outside of California so you can't yet? But when you can, will you? Because I think this is a brilliant idea. What do you say, Richard? Angie says they have 10 Star Wars postcards also for pre-sale for $17. Is this on the US can't even say it right, on the Postal Service website? I'm going there later then. Thank you for telling me. See, Angie, girl, you need to be part of the tribe. I'm just saying. And that's a great tidbit. So Star Wars, I'd see pre-sale. Oh, and speaking of pre-sale, did you guys see the transformer that actually transforms into a truck? Did you guys see that? Oh my Lord. Did you see it? It is so cool. $700 cool, but it's cool. It's really cool. I'm a robot freak, so I may have to invest in this. I'm saving my pennies now because if it was available, it's sold out, and I don't know that it's available. Hasbro is selling it, but I got on the email list because I would really like to get it. I'm going to have to save, though. I mean, that is penny jar time. Jar time. My goal, get that robot. I just think that robot's really cool. But just like you were saying, the postcards are going to be a lot more affordable, and you can pre-order them now. So I plan to do that. Yes, indeed. Pre-order postcard. See, you see me writing it down? I'm writing it down right now. That is so, thank you for telling me that. Because wouldn't it be great to have a stamp on the postcard and then my art next to it? Woo! Thank you, Angie. See how excited you make me? Boy, you guys are just good. Okay, let me get my tea made. Because everything's better with tea or coffee or both. This is my special pot. This pot is used for pouring over teas that are leaves and stuff, or coffee that is bloom, I think is bloomed or something. My husband would have to cover the coffee thing because I don't know the terminology for everything. But in this case, you pour it very slowly because of this little cattail spout, and it pours it slowly over the tea. In this case, I don't have the slow pour tea, but I'm still pouring slow because I think it's cool. And it's good weight for this arm, right? Yeah. And it's also pink, and I like pink. Yeah, I like all kinds of colors, but I just thought a pink teapot was really awesome. So now we're going to take our Herbalife tea here. We're going to put a little bit in there for energy. There we go. You didn't know you were going to have to watch me make tea today, did you? Yes, you did. You know I always make it. You'll know I always make it, and then I mix it with a little of my ginger tea from my Wing Hot Feng, which is my Chinese Sears that specializes in all things wonderful, including my teas and amazing things like that. And thank you, Josie Katz, for turning me on to that. A quick stir, and we're off to the races. Shelby says, hi, Terry. Thanks for the updates on the parks. It's really helpful for a lot of people. Yes, because we want you to get in if you want in. That's one of the reasons I'm not going in, guys, because you need to get in there first. People need it like a transfusion. And you know what I'm hoping is that everybody can get the vaccine quickly so that Disney can open up and you guys from out of state can go. Because I've got a lot of dear friends from out of state that are having very close to meltdowns because they're not able to go to the park. Just a little tweak on my camera there. But that's the truth. That's the absolute truth. Okay, Shelby, thank you for that. Let's get back to what Leo says. Um, if you could revive a long-term Disneyland attraction, which one would you choose and why? And which is your runner-up choice? Magnification. I loved the Journey Through Inner Space. So that would be the one I'd bring back. I loved. Oh, I miss the Journey Through Inner Space with Paul Frees, I think, was doing the voice. And Paul Frees, if you grew up in the 50s, you know that voice. He did every voice known to man, right next to Mel Blanc. But that would be the one. My runner-up choice would be, and I know it's not an attraction, but I miss the Indian Village. I used to love to meet Native Americans. You know, that's the thing that Disney does so well, and probably why I love Epcot, because I spend time when I'm in Florida in Epcot, not because of the attractions, but because of the people in each land of the International Pavilion. I can actually talk to people from Japan, people from Finland, people from Norway. We actually went to Epcot and spoke with them in Norway before we went to Norway. Which happened in 2019. It was a gorgeous and wonderful experience, and the French, I get to speak with French because I don't always get to Paris, but I can get there to Paris and have a croissant or a baguette and talk to the people from France and tell them about areas that I love in their country. Yeah. And then there's the Indian Village, where when I was a little girl, you had to get a truck and a chain and rope and try to pull me out of Indian Village when I was a little girl. Because I am 1/4 Native American. I told you I was mixed. I'm not sure what tribe, because my grandmother died early in life before I really knew her. And so I can't tell you what tribe, except for that it's in the Sioux Nation, which people are saying that's like saying you live on Earth. So not a lot of details there. But I used to watch the children do the eagle dances, kids that were like me, who were Native American, who were doing the eagle dances. And I could not take my eyes off of them. And then they'd invite you to come and do the eagle dance. And you could not. I mean, I was so fast, you wouldn't realize that I was asthmatic as a little kid, because anytime they asked for volunteers, I didn't even wait for them to choose me. I just ran out there. They must have got sick and tired of a kid whose hair looked like a dandelion jumping in to do the eagle dances, but I loved it. Oh man, that Indian Village cried when they told me they were taking it away. Just so tough. Just really painful. Very, very painful. But that are my choices of long retired Disney attractions. And if I was going to do one more, I would take the Tarzan treehouse and make it the Swiss Family Robinson treehouse, because I miss that. You know, movies fade, but storybooks don't. And I really thought that was cool. Yeah. Yes, indeed. It's Robin, you know, Tarzan is good. I just miss Swiss Family Robinson is all. Okay, it says, what are your 3 favorite Disneyland guest experiences and what made them so special? Ooh, that's a good one. Me as a guest? But let me just take this over to you as a guest, okay? A while back, I had a really dear friend in Florida invite me to dinner. Krista. I think it was Krista who did it. Pretty sure it was Krista Joy. And she invited me to be a part of a dinner and speak to people. And people got together to sit and have dinner with me at a restaurant. I think it was the equivalent of Storytellers here, but I can't remember what the restaurant was. And I asked the people in the circle to tell me about them. I always do this. I do this all the time. And cast members said, I'm only a cast member, but I remember that's how they started it. I'm not an Imagineer. I'm just a cast member, but. And I had to stop her, because just a cast member is not what you are. You have to realize, if you are a cast member at Disneyland, you are the portal through which people love Disneyland. It's your behavior, it's your kindness, it's your generosity that makes Disneyland so lovable and the experience so special. So never introduce yourself as just a cast member. You're a rock star at Disneyland and you make it very, very special. There are so many that make it extra special. Certain piano players that people make sure they come and see, certain ride operators that people just can't get enough of, certain cake makers that they want to eat everything that they create, certain shows and attractions and performers, and a cast member inside your Disneyana, or a cast member that rides or drives the coaches or the horses or your favorite horse. All of that makes the experience extra special for you. So the first one is a story that I asked one of the ladies that was sitting at the dinner, why don't you want to be a cast member? And she talked about how when she was 6 years old, her parents told her at Disneyland, her older siblings, they needed to stay with her because she was the baby. And of course, you know how older kids are. Oh, mom, we don't want to watch the little one. And so they ditched her. Can you believe it? But they ditched her. They left her. And she was all by herself and she was lost and she was terrified. And she knew it was safe to go up to a cast member because that's the way Disney and you all portray it if you're a cast member. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah. And she went up to the cast member and the cast member was so touched that she went to her supervisor and she said, this little girl is lost. Her siblings ditched her. Can I have some time to take her on a couple rides? And they said yes. And so this cast member took her on several of her favorite rides, cut the lines, and she was like a little VIP. And then they went to, before they did that, they went to the city hall to let the parents know that if they were looking for her, that the cast member would meet them at a certain time afterwards. And she bought her some ice cream, and she just talked about the experience being such a joyful thing when it could have been terrifying for a little 6-year-old. And that's what made her a cast member now. And she had been a cast member for over, I think, 8 years or whatever. Yeah, that's my number one. I get emotional every time I hear that. That is what is so great. That's what makes Disney so special. Yes, there's some dirty dealings behind the doors, but forget about that stuff. It happens in every corporation. But in Disneyland, that beauty is because cast members care so much and so deeply for what they do. And they really are about, especially children. And when the pins started happening, when they introduced the pin trading, that made cast members real people to everyone. Because people started to talk to cast members about the pins and realize that they are really super fun and super special. So that's my number one story. My second one was, there's so many. There's so many. The time I took my two friends from London up to Club 33, thank you to a Club 33 member who had me up and did this for me. And while I was there, I had my back to the door. And I all of a sudden saw my two people from London go like this. Like all of a sudden my pants fell down or something. And I turned around and it was Bob Gurr, Disney legend Bob Gurr. And they were like, and I walked up and said hi to Bob and asked Bob if he would come and meet them. And they were just freaking out. They were just, she knows Bob Gurr. Bob Gurr is so approachable. I like to think everybody knows Bob Gurr. And if you don't, just walk up to him and say hello because he's like me. He's just an outgoing love of a guy. So they got to meet him and watching their eyes get big was super special. Really, really special. And then my third, and maybe not in this order, Bella, who's 9 years old, who lives in London. When I went to run the inaugural Disney race, I walked through Disneyland Paris because that is my park. I designed Big Thunder along with my friend and fellow Imagineer Vasile, and also did Dragon's Lair all by myself. designed this ride, and then Matt McKim made sure it came to fruition because I did not go to Paris. That's another story. And she had not seen the dragon. Or if she had seen the dragon, she didn't really see the dragon. So I got to take Bella. At that time, she was 7 or 6 and introduced her to my dragon. And whenever she goes to Paris now with her mom, the first thing she does is go to see the dragon. And that by far was one of my favorite days at the park. It was wonderful. So those are a few of my experiences, but really just knowing how special everybody is at Disney. Oh, and then the 50th anniversary where my friend Tex decided to create an experience where you had to pick gift or keep, and they would give you something and you would take it around, and you were given an assignment. And during the 50th anniversary, I had to find first visitors. Me and my friend Liz, we did it together. Liz loved Tinkerbell. We had to go through the park and find a first visit button, which is why you wear your first visit button. And I met a family from India, 7 people from India. And when their youngest child was born, they made the promise that when the child was 7, the family would go to Disneyland. And it took them that long to save up the money to come. And we gave them this gift because their story was so touching and wonderful. I can remember where we found them. They were standing in front of, they weren't going in, I don't think, but they were standing in front of the Bippity Boppity Boo booth in Fantasyland when we found them. And they were just wonderful people. We didn't know their names. We called them this. I mean, they probably introduced us to the children, but of course, the names are gone, but I remember their faces so well. And I remember how happy they were that they had accomplished this dream, which was to take all 7 of them at age 7, the littlest one at age 7, all 7 to Disneyland. And we gave them the gift, and it was just amazing. So a lot of magic happens at Disneyland, doesn't it? A lot of magic. My 16th birthday happened at Disneyland. Whoop, whoop. My dad took me and 6 of my friends, and we went to Disneyland. That was my favorite spot. And I decided to go to the bathroom underneath, to visit the restroom underneath Alice in Wonderland. And they all came in and sang happy birthday while I was in the stall. So things you remember at Disneyland. That's a great question, Leo. Thank you very much. Have you ever visited Disneyland on a rainy day? Who hasn't? I live here. And when the rocket ships were up in the air, that was the very first place I went, and spun round and round over Disneyland in the pouring rain, flying the rocket ships, which is why they need to go back up. But it was wonderful. It was wonderful. Let me see. It was wonderful. I need to have my head up. You can't hear me very well when I'm talking down and reading the questions. Okay, let me see what the next. Did you make the best of it and had a good time? Annual pass or no? I used to cut class. I should not be telling young people this. I cut class on a rainy day to go to Disneyland, and there were no pass holders at the time. Yeah, it's raining. I'm going to Disneyland to ride the rocket ship because I knew they wouldn't necessarily bring it down every time. If you rode them when they were up, they had to come down because the line was so long. There was 0 line. So it was just best. It was the best. So for you guys who are going now during the pandemic and it's limited, I want you to think about the 60s and the 70s, which is when I would sneak away and go. And that's the way the park was. Crowded was what you guys are going to see. And empty, seriously, on a rainy day, there was nobody there. You were lucky if you ran into anybody, except for cast members who were running the rides just in case you wanted to come and just in case the rain stopped. Oh, so much. Oh, Leo's making me miss stuff, make me feel like I'm missing stuff, right? Okay, let's go back to you guys. Terri, you always put smiles on our faces. Jim, that I want to do, okay? Somebody asked me the other day, you talk forever, why? You're not getting paid. But yes, I am. You're paying me in smiles and you're paying me in joy. and you're loving on me, and hopefully you're subscribing to my YouTube channel or coming over and being a part of Terri's tribe. That's my joy, okay, is to see you even more than I do already. Thank you, Jim. Hello, Terri. Henry says, hope you're staying well. I'll be reaching out soon about having you coming back to speak to my students this summer. Henry, I had such a good time doing it, and they wrote me some of the nicest letters. I thank them deeply. Maybe, Henry, we can have a little giveaway for them, something that they would like, because I'm finding a lot of stuff in my garage. I don't know if they'd be interested, but my garage is full of stuff I didn't even know was in there. What's it doing in here? I'm trying to think of what it was I found the other day that I was like, what the heck? That I had completely forgotten. Well, if you look over here on my desk, I'll back up. You can't really see him, can you? He's in the dark. Let me show you. This is what happened when I cleaned my studio, guys. I found my Godzilla. That I made for Tokyo's Second Gate. Yes, I did. I found him. Here he is. Isn't he scary? I love Godzilla. So Disney, when I was an Imagineer in-house, I got to sculpt Tokyo's Second Gate, and I got to sculpt Godzilla, and the guys at Mapo made me a casting before I left. So there he is. Isn't he cool? He's so cool. And my dear friend who told me I should paint bigger, he painted him because I like the best to paint him. But isn't he fabulous? I didn't even know I had him. I forgot. And he was unpainted, and he didn't have his base, and his teeth were not in his face and everything. And my friend painted him. Isn't he wonderful? Yeah. I love him. Yeah, I'm just excited that I found him. This is the kind of stuff I'm finding in my garage. Yep. Yes, indeed. Thank you, Godzilla. Keep an eye on my tea. Keep an eye on my tea, will you? Yes. Yes. Fun, yeah? Yeah, fun. Thank you, Henry. But, like I said, lots of stuff in my garage. Leo says Disneyland is only taking reservations 60 days out, so check back daily in the middle of May for July 17th. Well, like I said, as Leo says, I'm hoping they're going to announce pass holder stuff. Once they bust into May and things start rolling, because you got to get a rhythm going, That first day could be crazy, guys. That first day could be a fiasco. And I admire you for going the first day. But then Disney will get their stride, right? Like I am with these ghosts. And I think they'll sit back and then announce pass holder stuff. So that's what I'm hoping is like around in the beginning of the May, they'll start talking about pass holder stuff, and I'll try and get July. I think they're going to sit on a few days, honestly, Leo, that first week, but I will check back. And those of you who check every day, would you give me a shout out and let me know if the 17th pops up? I'd appreciate it. We'll all help each other, right? Which is the way I like the world to work. Wish it would do that every time. Shelby says, do you wish Disney and other studios would return to doing hand-drawn animation? I know Don Bluth announced to having a new studio that would produce 2D shorts. It's such a beautiful art form. It is. And it's everywhere. It's actually more and more people are doing it. My neighbor is a Disney artist, and he's doing his own film, and it's all 2D. So I'm excited. That he's doing it, and I love him. And a lot of animators are just doing it, are doing it because they want to, right? So Shelby, you ask a perfect question, right? Also, I'm going to tell you that I love stop motion animation. And if you haven't seen Farmageddon, guys, you got to check out Farmageddon. Oh my gosh, Farmageddon is so funny. Up for a Academy Award, Farmageddon is. And then a friend of mine told me to watch Over the Moon. I did love Over the Moon. I'm not going to lie. It is computer animation, so it doesn't really fit the 2D. But it's cute. But Farmageddon, for me, just like kaboosh. I loved it. Loved it a lot. It's just silly, slow moving, but silly. And if you like Wallace and Gromit, and you like that studio, Aardman, then then you're gonna like this. It's so fun. And if you're a sci-fi person, you're just gonna. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna do any spoilers. You just gotta see Farmageddon. It is currently on Netflix. It's great. So thank you for asking me that question, because yes, I do. And I'd like to do some of my own, actually. I did some stop motion of my own. Why not take a dabble at animation? I mean, what else have I got to do, right? Vaccine distribution has been chaotic in Ontario. I'm expecting it for around October. Oh, Lord, Henry, really? Oh, I'm so... See, this really gives you a wake-up call. Because the relief I got, Henry, when my husband got his first vaccine, I almost passed out. Not because of a shot or anything, but because the stress was really must have been on my body. Because he's high risk. And I just couldn't get over how noodly I felt. I had to come down. I had to come and lay down. I didn't even have the vaccine. It's because he finally got it. And I could stop worrying about bringing something horrible home to him. And then when I got it, I bounced too much. So I think I mentioned the nurse said, if you don't stop bouncing, you tigger, I won't be able to give you the shot. But I was so excited to get it. I was like, I love you guys, And it was quite humorous. Yeah, I'm excited to get it. People ask, are you going to get it? I'm like, yes, please give it to me. So I wish it for you, Henry, as soon as possible. I hope they surprise you and tell you it's going to happen before October, because I don't see how anybody can open up and say herd immunity if everyone isn't taken care of. London is not letting people in. France is not letting people in. They have to do that because they have to get a handle on their country being safe. And if you keep letting people in, how is this possible? I had a friend who said she was going to Hawaii in May. My sister lives in Maui, and I told her to watch every day because they could change their rules. They are an island, and she got upset with me. And I said, look, I'm telling you this. My sister lives in Maui. Every day is different. Hawaii is really protecting themselves, and if they have to lock it down, they will. And they're not going to give a flying rat's behind, pardon me, about your tickets to Hawaii. So do yourself a favor. Don't assume. And make sure you have all the things in place if you're going to go to Hawaii, because the island can only go so far. They only have so many beds. They only have so many doctors. They have to protect their islands. And so my sister is saying it changes every day. So if you're going to go to Hawaii, and I want to, Lord knows I want to go see my sister. I haven't seen her in forever. I used to see her once a year at least, so we could sit together and brainstorm about art she might do or ways that she could tweak what's going on so she could do more creative stuff in her life, It's nice to have someone where you can brainstorm. They're not going to judge you. They're not going to say your ideas are stupid or silly. They're going to help you develop them. That's really fun, and that's what I tend to do. Linda Rolls, good morning. Are you happy to have your ghosts? It's good to see you. Thank you for joining me. Good morning, Ava. Theme park gals. Don't you love what they're saying today, the theme park gals? FYI, cast members are able to ride some rides in California Adventure, like the new Adventures Campus ride. The kids went to Touch of Disney yesterday and saw and talked to cast members about going on rides. Isn't that cool? Isn't that cool? That's cool. When I worked at Magic Mountain, I got to be one of the first to ride the Revolution, the coaster that goes like this, before they opened it. Dating myself again. Yeah, I was at Magic Mountain for their pre-opening because my dad worked at KMPC radio station, and we were invited to go before Magic Mountain opened to the public ever. Yes. I told you I was 63, right? Okay. So, and then we got special passes to ride the Revolution, which was fun. And that's when I worked there. I worked at Magic Mountain for a while. It was fun. It was fun to work at Magic Mountain. I was a puppet meet and greeter. And then I worked in the glass shop. Yeah. where they do the black with the Beale family, which I don't even know where they are, but I miss them and love them. They were the best glass sculptors. They used to sculpt for Disney before Disney decided to buy not really have glass blowers anymore. It's too bad. It's another thing I would reinstate and find these guys, because this family was just the best. It's great to work for them and paint the glass. It was cool. That's great. How cool is that? Love this painting. Oh, thank you. I do too. Hello again, Deanna. Deanna was getting her second vaccine today. June 13th, Jill McCupcake. Yay! McElroy, but my husband nicknamed Cupcake, so there you go. Aw, that's really neat. So anytime he says McCupcake, it's with love. It kind of gives you like a little ee. That's what happens when my husband calls me Pumpkin. Yeah, Lindsay always calls me Pumpkin. It's very cute because one of my favorite movies is Memoirs of a Geisha, and they call the character in that Pumpkin. So it gives me a little zinger every time I hear somebody call somebody else Pumpkin. So I'm with you, McCupcake. That's your name as far as I'm concerned, along with your husband. Congratulations. June 13th, which means you're a June baby. Were you a pain to your parents? I say if a baby's born in June, watch out, because I'm June 21st. And I was a nightmare for my mother, even though she won't admit it. I was so creative and so inquisitive that my poor mother was hysterical, and one time locked herself in the bathroom because she did not want another kid like me. Too much of a handful. But that's awesome. And I love McCupcake. And congratulations, fellow June baby. Just let me know if you were kind of a nightmare to your parents because you were over creative, Jill. P.S. I was also a magenta at the Tiffany. No way. Were you next to me? Did you go see one of my shows, Jill? I did that for years. Oh, gosh, it felt like years. Oh, my Lord. The hardest part was I was also the Queen's jester at Paramount Ranch for the Renaissance Fair. So I would finish the Renaissance Fair, get out of that get-up, get into my magenta garb, and do a midnight and 2 a.m. show at the Tiffany Theater for a very long time. And then I would go back to the Renaissance Fair, get out of my makeup and stuff, and try to get a few hours sleep before I did the Sunday performance. That's what you do when you're young. You just go forever, don't you? You feel like you got the energy that never stops, like the Energizer Bunny, and you just do insane things like that. And I don't know how I did it, because now I kind of almost need to be in bed by 10. But it's great. That's great, Jill. Let me know if you were at the show with me. Mark Silverman, we thought of you yesterday. War of the Gargantuas is a Criterion film, and we thought of you right away. My husband was like, War of the Gargantuas is Criterion? And I was like, Mark Silverman would say, of course it is. So thank you, Mark. Rod Serling narrating every new Disney ride would be really cool. That's because he does Rod Serling, just so you guys know. That's really Mark. You're a nut, Mark. How about Terri Hardin Jackson workshops on Disney Cruise? I would be there in a heartbeat. And whatever you wanted me to teach, I would teach it. Because trust me, first thing about doing something new is you got to have the right mindset. You got to be a kid. You got to be willing to fall down and scrape your knees a bit, because when kids do that, they do it, they jump back up and they keep going, right? One of the things I love about my neighborhood is kids still ride bicycles, scooters, ride bicycles with their dogs next to them, make mud pies, play with Legos, basketball in the street. It really feels like I'm in a 1950s film, because my neighborhood does that. I know my neighbors' names, and they know me, and we take care of each other, and it's a beautiful neighborhood. It's one of those things that makes you maybe not want to ever leave, So yes, I'd love to do a Disney. I'd love to do this. Please request it, because, you never know. I would be the first to do that. I think a museum filled with Disney props and costumes from past attractions like Captain EO, not to mention the entire Muppet section, would be nice. And who is your favorite Disney princess? Ooh, that's a really good question. hard because I tend to like the villains, right? And I would say Cinderella, but Leslie Ann Warren is my favorite Cinderella. So that, unfortunately, sorry, Cindy, that doesn't really work. So I guess, it's interesting because my favorite Disney villain for the longest time was Maleficent, and then Yzma came on the scene, and now it's a battle. I just adore Yzma. She puts me, oh gosh, I laughed so hard she almost put me in the hospital. She is just so funny and so wonderful and so fabulous. I just love Yzma as a villain. So I'm basically a villains person, but if I had to pick a favorite Disney princess, I guess it would be the one from Brave. See, I can't even remember her name, but I loved her. I loved her because she was a curvy girl. Not because I'm a curvy girl, but because she was a curvy girl. She didn't fit that princess mold. Like, as a sculptor, many of these princesses, you could pretty much have a base princess and you could just alter it. But this beautiful girl from Brave, you can't. You have to sculpt her differently. So you've got to. You cannot use a classic Disney princess mold and make it this girl from Brave because she's built differently, and I just love her. I think she is just, and she has hair that goes, it's not like mine, it's not dreadlock, but it's unruly and it's crazy. And yeah, she would be my favorite Disney princess if I was going to pick one. Yep. I definitely would pick her. Thank you for asking that. And the Disney Museum has a lot of this kind of thing. And the Disney Archives has a lot of this kind of thing. Guys, the Disney Archives has this. So it is in effect. You just got to get in to see it, right? Maybe a touring show would be great. That could be very cool, where the Disney Archives goes on tour. And you can see them in your town, because many times they do that, right? With costumes and things, don't they? That would be a good idea. What do you think, Shelby? What do you think? Ah, goodness gracious. Michael Roman asks, and I just lost him. Here he is. There are 10 Star Wars cachet covers for $17. I ordered a set as well. Exactly. And it probably is going to come with the stamp on there. But I'm thinking of pulling them in with the art as well. Yeah, and it's great to pre-order them because it's just less headache, You know how eBayers are. I don't know if that's legit though. I don't know if you can upsell it, just buy it and upsell something like that. I'd have to ask MJ on that. You could get in trouble for doing that, maybe, because it is a government piece of stuff. Maybe you could, because Lincoln's letter, if you happen to have that in your basket, you could sell that later. So maybe I'm full of baloney. But thank you, Michael, for that, because I'm grabbing me a set. Good morning, says Catherine. Had a second shot on Wednesday. Yay! Fever yesterday. Boo! Today, perfect and gardening. Yay! Good for you, Catherine. And there's a lot of people gardening. In fact, my friend Ivano wanted to talk to me yesterday from Canada. He's a wonderful artist. He works in feral cement. And if you saw my Groot that I sold, he's the one that taught me how to make them that way. Let me see if I can show you what my Groot looked like, just in case you didn't get the memo on Groot. Boink. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, I'm silly. I think I know exactly where it is. I don't know why it's in there, but I'm going to look in. Whoops. I think it was in here. Yeah, I don't even know why it's in there, but it's here. So here is my Groot in his happy natural habitat. And isn't it great? Do you see the well, you can't, because let me just hide this. The koi pond below him, and here he's kind of backlit, but there he is in his habitat, and it's just so wonderful. There he is again right here. Isn't this beautiful? He got purchased there, and he's got the little pot in there. It's not planted there yet, but These are beautiful, beautiful shots. I love them a lot. And why I thought of this was because you mentioned gardening, and my friend Ivano wanted to talk to me about brainstorming on a thing he's creating. He's creating a course for people to take, and he wanted to bounce it off me, but he said he couldn't talk to me till 8 o'clock in the evening because there was still daylight, and he too was going to garden. So that's his kind of relaxing thing, like yours, it looks like, Catherine. And that's what I mean. Sometimes you have to schedule time for yourself so that you don't go nuts, for your own mental health. That whatever it is, I have no green thumb, so I will not be gardening. I leave that to my gardeners. Uh, closest I've come is to put 2 rocks down from 2 kids from my dear friend Holly Mack and her 2 children, and that's about the gardening level. My gardening level. Inner space was really wonderful. Yeah, I love it. Good morning. I'm late for important date, says Michael, but you knew I'd still be here, right, Michael? Have you seen Claws from 2019 on Netflix? Yes, Shelby, and I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I love the ending, and you know what that is. So I adored the end. I just thought that was beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful movie. I actually watched it twice. I showed it to my husband. It's great. I remember the glass blowers too. Yes, and they were the best in the business. They were Magic Mountain, Universal, and Disney. They had stations in every one, and I was fortunate to work with them. They were the best. The Beams. They were called the Beams. Jim and no, not Jim. Tom, and I think Tom Senior actually. Great group of people. Just love, love, love them. And we'll leave that right there for a moment and go more questions here. What's better, being at the park when it first opens in the morning or staying until it closes? I'm a morning person, so I like first thing in the morning. I love the nippiness in the air. I love the bite in the air. It's always cooler in the morning as far as weather, which I'm a cool weather person. I love the fireworks, but I don't like traffic. So I have to either stay at the park property or leave way later than the fireworks, or I'm not happy because the traffic just boosts up because everybody leaves after the fireworks. So I'm an early morning person. I'll check out the fireworks once in a while, stay at the park because it's fun. One of my favorite things is to go over to the Grand Californian, go into that little bar section they have and have a drink and a little bite to eat, sit in the corner and kind of do my work. Left alone, they tend to let me sit back there and do some work if I'm waiting to go visit somebody or something, because I have to leave early in order to get to where I'm going because of traffic usually. So it's going to be very interesting, some of the live things that I may be doing in the future. The very first thing I'm going to be doing is in September, I'm going to be doing the Toon Fest in Marceline, and I've never been to Marceline, so I am excited about going to Marceline. I've heard so much about it, and it's also a small town, and I love small towns. So I can't wait. I cannot wait. I am excited about that. And I've got my fingers crossed that everybody's going to do things right so we can go. So I'm excited, and I'm doing it. 2 of my friends are going to be there, Mindy and Joseph Yakovetic. So it's going to be fun. I'm just saying it's going to happen. It's going to happen. So morning for me, definitely morning. In fact, when I did rides for the park, so I did several attraction sculptures that you could purchase in Disneyland. And that's some of the sketches you get when you join my website, when you put your email into my website and let me have it. Thank you, your email. And so we can actually truly stay connected. You can download these drawings, and soon I'll have a document up there I'm working on how to be Imagineer. I've said the story several times. I'll just give you steps by steps on how to do it. And you can download that in trade for it's free as long as you give me your email. So, but I'm not going to spam you because I I haven't even really written to a lot of people. It's just that when I learn how to do that for real, I want you there so I can talk to you. But yeah, so that's a great way to I can tell you about things like that, and it's that's going to be fun. I just can't wait to get together with all of you. What's your favorite sit down meal inside the park? Oh yeah, like I said, my favorite of all time when I was a little kid is to go to the Tahitian terrace and watch the Hawaiian dancers. I was really good friends with the fire dancer. He was a really good friend of mine, and I loved watching him work. And my favorite meal there was something involving fish. My mother loved the Monte Cristo sandwich, but that was too much for me. I really wanted anything that had a fresh fish base, whatever it was. I would order that because I'm a fish freak. Now it's got to be breakfast, and it's got to be at that little marketplace where as you go in on Main Street. I love eating there. I love eating there. That's my favorite place, and eating breakfast. Breakfast is my favorite meal of the day, and I love eating there a lot. That's like number one. And then Club 33, of course, which they often bring me up there to have a drink and lunch or tell them stories and stuff. And a lot of the members are very generous with bringing me up there and giving me somewhat of an open invitation. And I love sitting up there and eating. I'll stay up there for hours in the lounge because I can talk to people, I can relax, I can take a breath. Especially I liked going because it would get really, really crowded, and I'm not real good in crowds. So I could go there and breathe a little bit. And what's not to love about Club 33? And then I loved the barbecue place that Galaxy's Edge consumed. Galaxy's Edge must have liked it too because they ate the whole thing and it's no longer there. So that's too bad because I got to see Billy Hill and the Hillbillies and got to eat that great barbecue. And I love that. I once met Rick Baker there and introduced him to my husband, which was a really fun event. Really good thing. I knew Rick Baker for years, and my husband got to meet him. So it was very cool to do that. And now my dinner time is it's a little harder, isn't it, to find something inside that is as good, that is open to everyone. I would have to say maybe Blue Bayou, because you get to see the Pirates of the Caribbean pass by you as you eat. But Steakhouse 50 is wonderful. I know that's outside of the park, but I love Steakhouse 50. And if I'm going to eat outside of the park, speak Terri. I'm salivating because you're talking about food. My favorite place to eat and sit and visit is Trader Sam's. Don't you just want Trader Sam's to come back? I'm telling you, I have to see Trader Sam's every time I go to see people at Disneyland. I have to save time for Trader Sam's. I just love Trader Sam's. It just gets me so excited. And you all can meet me, and you don't even have to pay to go to the park. If you don't want to, we can meet at Trader Sam's. They always have the coolest drinks, the coolest mugs, and the coolest people at Trader Sam's. I love it there. And I've got to go at least once every time I'm there. Because I love all their food. I love the experience of Trader Sam's. It's just so fun and comfortable and quiet and not so quiet and energetic and not so energetic. Oh, I just love it. Trader Sam's is the best. It's just the best. So I guess that's outside of the park, but that's my favorite place to eat. I love that. And then inside the park, I guess it's got to be, honestly, it's got to be that little marketplace for breakfast. That's my go-to place now. For dinner, like I said, it may be Blue Bayou, but it's harder for me for dinner because there's not a lot of dinner places in the park, is there? So it's kind of tough. Yeah, it's kind of tough. Over at California Adventure, Carthay Circle is always wonderful. And then they took me to Lamplighter. That was cool. That was really cool. They had great cocktails there. They had one that was so nice and icy cold. It was almost like, I don't know. It was just like having the Arctic in your hands. It was wonderful. So the foods that they did, this cool poke bowl, which is raw fish. What did I tell you? And it had a cracker that was over it that they made that looked like the moon. So you had to lift this cracker and you could break. Oh, it was wonderful. So yeah, now you have made me just salivate, Leo. Look what you did. Quick meal inside the park. I would love to have a hot dog. I can't eat them. I am crazy for hot dogs. Oh my gosh, I love them. But I have to be careful because they, as an older person, they don't digest very well for me anymore. Do you like how I whined? So I miss grabbing a hot dog at the special spot opposite the cars in Tomorrowland. What's that restaurant? You could grab a hot dog and some fries and just like serious junk food. But it was so good, and their hot dogs were so delicious. Same with Dodger dogs. I don't go to see the Dodgers. I go to eat the Dodger dogs, but I can't anymore. It's so sad, and I love them, like pinks and cupids, where the dogs snap. That's one of my favorite things. Chili, underneath chili and cheese, and if I'm going to do that, I have to commit to being up all night in the office. If you want me to be honest, it's too bad. I love hot dogs. I can eat Hebrew National hot dogs. And when I was at my pumpkin patch, which is now no longer, the woman made Hebrew Nationals especially for me, and people around me that couldn't eat them. Linda Rolls knows this. And I could have a hot dog with just mustard, and I was in heaven. Just, oh my gosh. Oh, good Lord. It was so good. Now I want a hot dog. What is with you, Leo? Let's go. He's going to talk about 3 favorite indulgent treats. But before we do, let's go and see what Deanna has to say. My daddy called me Pumpkin. Yeah, Pumpkin is a fun little name. I love it. Grim Grinning Casey says, hi, friends. I have been listening to you and got me remembering my most memorable times at Disney. Good. That's what we want to hear, right? Jill McCupcake says, oh, good Lord, Terri, we're sisters. Did Ren Fair and Agura too. And yes, I was a big pain in the behind for my parents. June babies. You know, when Prince Harry, the older one? He was born on June 21st, like me. And the Queen used to complain when I was a kid about him sliding down the banister. She could not keep him still. And when they mentioned his birthday, which is interesting because he's June 21st, she is April 21st. So we are members of the 21 Club. And that's pretty cool. My little dog, Rocket, is April 21st. And I was asking her yesterday what she'd like for her birthday. I think she said puppy whip. So I'll have to get her a puppy whip and salmon. My dog is nuts for salmon. She's like her mom. She loves it. She loves it. She would prefer it cooked, where I'll eat it just about any way you give it to me. But I have to figure out something for her birthday. I think I'm going to give her a salmon patty, like a full quarter one. She's going to feel like she died and went to heaven for her birthday. So don't tell her, but I'm thinking that's what I'm going to do for her. So yeah. So congratulations. You're part of the club. June babies unite. Our parents would have stories to tell, Jill. Deanna says, I'm a villain fan more than princesses as well. Yeah, I mean, what can we say, right? It's the truth. We have to be honest. Brave, of course. Ursula was the best. Ursula is a great villain. You know, poor unfortunate fools. Yeah, I think she's amazing. So, yeah, I like her very much. I probably should sculpt an Ursula at some point. I did do a pin, but not a lot of people liked that pin. And I needed to pre-sell enough, but the tentacle spun, you know. So there it was. I designed it, but we didn't make it because not enough. It was going to be a more pricey pin. I think it was going to be a pin that ran more like $35. And a lot of people were like, but it spun. Her tentacle spun. So, but I didn't design it because not a lot of people wanted to buy it. So, you know, you got to listen to your followers, right? And if they don't want it, they don't want it, right? Looks great. Thank you. Deanna, I live in a small town and tired of it. My mother said the same thing, Deanna, because they all know your business. So when my mother was dating my father, and remember, my mother's white, my dad's black, They got married at the time. Rosa Parks was fighting for the bus, okay? Just saying. So my mother was nervous about her parents, so she told my dad he could write to her in her small town, but she addressed it a different address so they wouldn't be found out. And the mailman knew her father, so he didn't even look at the address. He just put it in the mailbox, and she got busted. True story. So small towns can suck if you live in one. I've always lived in a big city. First Hollywood, California, LA, first LA, then Hollywood, then North Hollywood, and now where I'm living now, Southern California. And it's, yeah, I get it. I get it, Deanna. I get it. My mom says that all the time. Is that where the Blue Ribbon Cafe used to be? Says Catherine. Where was the Blue Ribbon Cafe? I'm not sure. I don't have that knowledge in my head. But I'm not sure if that's where it used to be. I used to always eat at Tiffy's, and Tiffy's is gone, guys. Tiffy's succumbed to the pandemic peril. There is no more Tiffy's. Breaks my heart. I love Tiffy's. I knew everybody at Tiffy's, including the manager and the owners, and I loved it there. I used to go there every time I finished a run. It was my go-to spot. It breaks my heart. They are gone. And they are one of the casualties of the pandemic. They just couldn't maintain after the pandemic shut them down, and breaks my heart. I love them. I hope they are doing well because I miss them. Breakfast. Oh, yes. Blue Ribbon Cafe was my favorite. Gone now. I would always try to visit Oscar Martinez, the little sweetheart. Yeah, Oscar is great, isn't he? You know, you can friend him on Facebook. So if you haven't done that, friend him. He's a doll. Yeah. He's got a lovely wife. She's adorable too. We actually went to eat at the restaurant together. So at that restaurant, which is not the Blue Ribbon Cafe anymore, it's that market one. But you're on the right. That is the restaurant. That's my favorite. And Oscar ate with us there, which made it more our favorite. So find him on Facebook and friend him. I'm sure he'd love to friend you guys. Eat all beef hot dogs. Exactly. Well, in Hebrew National, which are kosher. So honestly, I think what makes them kosher makes them not bother me. So that's the big win right there, kosher. I'm a June baby as well. The 23rd, says Grim Grinning Tracy. And were you a problem for your parents, Tracy? I bet you were. And I bet you're incredibly creative, because that's what I say about June babies. Going in on the ladies' side about halfway down. Yeah, exactly. Blue Ribbon. That cafe where Oscar is now a different cafe, as you say, but Oscar still frequents there. He is now with Disney as somebody who comes in and visits. He's like me, the come here, get away chef, except for they tell him more, come here, and then get away. But like I said, you can friend him on Facebook. Just look him up, or look in my friends, because I friended him. We're quite close. We walked the park one day. We went and had breakfast, and I had some friends who really wanted to meet him, and we all sat around and had breakfast with him and his new beautiful wife. And then we walked around and did some fun stuff, and had a great time. And people were just so excited to see him at the park. Yeah, it was nice. But yeah, friend him. He loves. See what I mean? Deanna, she's friends with him too. So he loves having friends on Facebook. So feel free to reach out to him, and you can still talk to him about what he's up to. Blue Bayou and the Monty is my number one fave. Exactly. My mother, Monty, loves that, and the Blue Bayou. Also, my mother was let me get this right, a mint julep and what's the donut? I can't remember it now. I'll remember it in a minute. I'll remember. It'll come to me. It just ran away like this. But she used to love getting those, going into that little side place where you order at the window there in New Orleans Square. You got your mint julep and the apple fritter. See, it came. Apple fritter and a mint julep. She'd order that at the window and sit there and listen to jazz. That was the thing my mother loved to do at Disneyland. Never tired of it. That's my mom. Ooh, Lucky Duck. Yes. Well, it's fun. I'm going to tell you, I don't take it for granted. I'm a maybe just a pain for every. No, Angie, you're not a pain. I'm sorry. May children are not pains. I'm sorry. You can't claim that, Angie. Yes, friends on Facebook. Yes. And so chat with him often because he loves to visit, doesn't he? Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. My faves love them. Exactly. Exactly. Grim Greening, no, I was afraid of anyone being mad at me. I was quiet introvert. As a kid, I was helping take care of an ill family. See? There you go, Tracy. You're good. You're a good kid, weren't you? While we were tearing up the town, Ghostbusters. Whoops. You were being good. What more does Leo have to ask? Your 3 favorite indulgent treats. Chocolate chip ice cream at the Carnation. No, wait. Loved getting that chocolate chip ice cream every time I went to Disneyland. Chocolate chip ice cream. Yep. Candy store. Anything they were making, I had to have some of it. So I always go by the candy store and see what the candy maker's making, and then I make it because I love fresh candy. But ice cream all the time, chocolate chip ice cream. Always got to stop and get some. And I don't think they have the classic chocolate chip anymore. I think they have like mint chip or something, but ice cream is my vice. And then I like any candy at the candy store that they are making currently. I've got to try it because it's fresh, and I like fresh candy. And then the Dole Whip. I love the Dole Whip. I'm a purist, so it's the Dole Whip pineapple. I don't need any other wacko flavor. I just want the classic one, and I like it very much. And if they can let me have it in a cone, I like that best. Crunch with softness. Again, sort of an ice cream treat, right? Popcorn. Can't pass a popcorn. If it's popping, must have popcorn. Love popcorn. In fact, I'm going to make some today because that's the 3rd time I've said that. Love it. 3 favorite parades: electrical parade, and electrical parade. No, wait, that doesn't count, does it? I'm serious. The electrical parade has been my favorite and will always be my favorite and my favorite at Disneyland. I don't have another favorite. I do have favorite characters in parades, like the ones that had the Lion King puppets on the float and then the elephants walked and moved, a lot like the Lion King theater presentation. I like those, anything with the big puppets in there. And I like the parade that invited people to be a part of it. And I have my zebra hat still from when I was a zebra in the parade. And I love that. I loved being a part of the parade. That was really fun. I don't remember what that parade was, but I really liked it. I also liked the parade that had Mary Poppins riding those special horses. I keep saying to myself, I want to build one of those horses that they ride. It's kind of like a horse, carousel horse bicycle combination. It's so cool that I'd like to build one of those. I'm just saying, or sculpt one, but I want one because I think they're cool. Favorite walk-around costume character to watch spreading the Disney magic? You know the answer to this. I mean, come on. Tigger. Okay? Tigger, and Tigger with a little Tigger. Followed by Tigger. I love Tigger. Yep, I'm crazy about him. But in California Adventure, I have my favorite there. That's, guess what? Doug the dog. From Up. Oh, I love that dog. You are my new master. I love him. Oh, he is the cutest dog. If I see Doug the dog, I lose it. Okay, just like Tigger. So California Adventure, Doug the dog. Disneyland, what? Tigger. You're right. Yes, Tigger. Face character to watch. Ooh. That would have to be the princess from Tangled. And the only reason I say this is because I took some little girls to be in line because they were really excited to see the princess from Tangled. And that performer was so generous, sweet, and kind and good natured. She touched my heart and I liked her. Or Cruella de Vil, which I spent a lot of time watching her because I was holding a spot for the candlelight for a friend of mine while he had dinner. Had lunch up at Club 33. I was holding a spot with my husband and in line because he likes to be first. And she was there doing her performance, and we just watched her. She'd go and come and do it and go and she was wonderful. She was just beautiful. So I would say either one of those people. 3 favorite cast members, current or retired, who you've come to know and love. Randy Bell, and Randy Bell, who worked at Club 33, who was a teacher and a good friend of mine. I went to his school and was the keynote speaker for a year, and then I was the career day speaker, and he was my love. But Randy Bell is not only retired, he passed away. So yeah, I'm missing my Randy. I'm missing my Randy big time. That's a tough one. Laura O'Lacey, who is a security guard over at California Adventure Park. She lived in Alaska. She would come down and we would tour the park together. She's an amazing woman. And her dream was to come down and be a part of the Disney parks. And she is now living that dream as a security guard. I think secretly she'd like to drive the trams, but she is just a love. And she writes me every day and fills me in on the latest stuff that's happening. Not necessarily behind the scenes. She's very, very good about protecting the brand, but she does send me articles and things. Like she was the first to send me that Disney was going to start ticket sales. And I wrote back and asked her a few more questions. She really didn't know anything more than that, but she's always keeping me up on that. And then the rest is fill in the blank. There are so many at the Disneyana store where my art was that I stop and see them all the time. Love seeing them, each and every one of them. There's so many. Joy, who did the drawings. I don't know if she's still there. And just so many that are extra, extra special because I talk to them all. So that last spot is filled by a plethora of people. So I will let many hats be worn there. What's the favorite thing you created as a park collectible? The hitchhiking ghosts. I have to say that because they were driving me crazy, but they really are beautiful. They look like real ghosts on yourself. They are my favorite thing I made for the parks. The other thing was that I did as a Disney when Disney was offering my work in the park was my Jewels of the Park, which were miniature ride vehicles. I don't know if I have them. Let me see if I can find them so I can show you. But I was very proud of those. Oh, I just got a new iPad for my business, and it is amazing. I'm so glad. I've been wanting to get one, but I've been holding off because I knew I was going to I was going to invest a bit of money to get the one I wanted this time. And oh man, when you finally, you get the right tools, it's really good. So I'm just like shaking because it's really nice. Okay, so I was going to show you my Jewels of the Park, wasn't I? Okay, let me look at, that's Imagineering Disney Sculpts. Do I have them in there? I do, sort of. Okay, you're going to sort of see them. Okay, all right, here we go. Here is one right now. There we go. This is Mr. Toad's. There were only 10 done, and you can see that I'm sculpting how small the toad was only in one of them. That was for Tony Baxter, who got me the job doing this. So, and these are faces of the pirates because I did a Pirates of the Caribbean anniversary sculpture, and that's the face of the Whistler, various people that you found in there. This is the gravedigger and his dog, which was a lot of fun to do. The candlestick for the organ master. These are the whistling pirates, the skull. Here are some of the Jewels of the Park. So you've got the Alice in Wonderland ride vehicle, and then you've got the Dumbo elephant. I did those. That's my organ master. There's the organ. Here I am at a signing at the gallery. Tony Baxter in the back, and here in the front is one of my jewels in its little case. Only 10, and then you can't read it, but that's my name right next to it. Pretty doggone exciting. Here's the carousel horse and the detail of my Maleficent Raven. Here's another shot of Dumbo, the toad, the carousel horse, the pirate ship I got to do. There's another Dumbo. Here I am doing the signing again, etc., etc., etc. That was the fun stuff. The jewels of the park are only this big, and they're just stunning. And if you happen to have one of them, hang on to them because they are a very, very valuable collection, especially if you have all 6. They are phenomenal. Let's see. Keepsake item you purchased from the park that I cannot separate myself from. Keepsake that I purchased from the park. See, that's the key, is what Leo's saying. It had to be purchased from the park. Ooh, that's a tough one. Do I still have it? One of the things is that you can't give away your favorite keepsake from the park if you bought something from the park. I did have a blown glass horse that I lost in the earthquake of 1994. That was devastating. That was my favorite keepsake back then. I think one of the keepsakes was from you guys that you gave me. But as far as a keepsake that I got from the park, I'm thinking I won a Pluto puppet. I created a Pinocchio puppet that once it got made is pretty hideous. My puppet was good, but keepsake that I would never part with. I'm trying to think. Is there something like that? If it is, it's in here. I'm going to have to think about that. I'm going to have to think about that one. Because I have a lot of things that I love, but are they actually from the park? Do I still have them? Because I bought some keepsakes that I have trouble parting with, but they're from other parks. They're not from Disneyland. From Disneyland, yeah. I'm gonna have to think on that one because at this point it's not there. Chances are it's probably a book, but the key is that I bought it from the park, and I'm trying to remember if I bought a book from the park that was Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious that I bought from the park, and I don't think so. So I'll get back to you on that one, Leo. That was a stumper. The stumper. Finally, topical news question. Before we get to that, let's see what else you guys are saying, right? Catherine says, we love the light. We got to stay at the California Grand Disney Hotel when they were first bringing it back. Got to see it from the window. Oh, I'll bet you that was cool. I especially like the little ones that go, wah, 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 wah. They come up to you, wah, 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 wah. I love those. Those make me crazy. I just love them. And the electrical parade is my jam. I think I might have a little sculpture of that one that I like, and that might be my keepsake that I bought at the park. But right now, not happening in my brain. Do you remember the Bicentennial Parade at 76? 2 original electrical and Boo to You. Oh, yay. No, I don't. And yes, the electrical parade is great. I did a parade. Okay. I sculpted. I don't know if I have it here. I'll have to show it to you later. But I sculpted a Mrs. Godzilla for a Disney parade. And it had to be Mrs. Godzilla because they didn't want to pay the rights to Godzilla. And I sculpted that using a chainsaw and a machete. So if you want to hear about that, remind me and I'll see if I can find that picture. But that could have been a favorite parade of mine because I got to sculpt that big giant Mrs. Godzilla, which was fun, holding a building and it went down the Disneyland. I should have taken pictures of it going down Disneyland. I didn't think to do that back in the day. I don't know why. Love Maynard. Yes, exactly. Maynard is huge. However, Maynard's a lot like me. He never stops talking. But Maynard is a big draw to Disneyland because he's so compelling and wonderful. Yeah, he is one of the best. Didn't want to type it twice. Shelby says her favorite is Miranda. Pretty cool. As far as my favorite goes, it would have to be Belle. As far as, Miranda being my princess, her many people love Belle because Belle reads. And if you're a reader, it's kind of being like you. Plus, her heart is very big and wonderful as she falls in love with the beast for the beast and not because of anything else, right? She sees his heart. She falls in love with the heart. And then, of course, that's what breaks the spell. So Belle's pretty cool. She's a pretty top girl. Really a sweet thing. Sweet thing. Yes, she is. And many people tell me Belle is their favorite. And the Little Mermaid, of course, which is a princess at the end. So she qualifies. I have friends who just adore her. And so I like that you're sharing who you like. Keep doing that. I like that. Mr. Toad, adorable. I love all of those. Yeah, Mr. Toad is mine. Oh, thank you. Yes, those sculptures were the first induction into sculpting for Disneyland. And Tony Baxter was responsible for getting me even an interview with Disneyland to be a collectible sculptor. And my name was attached. And I love him for that. I love Tony Baxter for a multitude of reasons, but that's a big one. Yeah, he's just so generous. When I was doing the Gravedigger and his dog, which you saw, I was having challenges with the finished piece. This will happen. So he met me in his office and he took a look at it and he said it looked like a barnyard animal, which is, you love Tony for telling you the truth. But I asked him, was it a barnyard animal because the sculpting was awful with the painting? And he said the painting is terrible. And I had to go back and tell my painters it wasn't satisfactory. But I don't want to tell a painter that works for me that I don't like the paint job. I like to have suggestions on how they can improve it, okay? It's not fair to say this is yucky and then you walk away, fix it. And the person is like, how? Guidance, please? So I always like to guide my associates who work with me. And Tony then sent me down to the archives and I looked at the Haunted Mansion under its sliding and stuff and just got my brain kicked in. And I said, okay, that's good. And then I took it down to where they did the bases and a young lady who did the mats for frames came over and she said, it doesn't look like it's at night. That's what she said. She was embarrassed to even judge my work. I said, just tell me your first impression. And she said, shouldn't it be at night? And that was the thing that sparked it and made the Gravedigger great, because then what happened is I went back to my painters and said, paint it like it's at night and make him lit by the lantern, and bingo, bango. It sold out. It sold out in less than an hour. People loved it. Loved the Gravedigger and his dog. Only 10 of them. And they sold out. We do have a bronze one here. Not bronze. Painted to look like bronze because I was trying to figure out what the paint job should be. And my husband fell in love with that art proof. I use art proofs to do it. And I still have that today. And it in order to buy it from us would be very costly because it's the only one in existence. And it did sell at the park. So it would be several $1,000s. But I'm very proud of it. It's very unique. It's my only one. And it's painted to look like bronze. And my husband loves it. So it's in our house. If you want to see that one, you just ask me and I'll share it with you. Are the jewels of the park ceramic? No, they are cold cast porcelain, better known as resin. They are resin cast. And my first original was done out of Sculpey, and Sculpey cracks after a while. And I had to actually go head to head with Disney and tell them I was no longer going to make them out of Sculpey. The reason they said they wanted to is because there was an artist who was already sculpting there that did everything out of Sculpey. But when you get small with Sculpey, it cannot go smaller. Sculpey, which is the polymer clay, has a limit to how small it can get. So that's why I work in wax, because wax has no limits. It can get microscopic small. The properties in polymer clay prevent it from getting smaller than 3 inches without looking blobby and quite terrible. Now, there's ways that people mix it, or if they're making food and they're using little things like that, that's different. But I'm talking about a figure. A figure doesn't work. So I do it in wax. And let me see. I don't know if it's here to show you how tiny it actually can get. I'm looking to see if I could find it, but it doesn't look like it. So let me see if I can find it in my presentations, because I have these presentations that I do that shows some of the sculptures. Yeah, here we go. We have a cufflink done in wax. This is for someone who loves the Haunted Mansion. The wife gave these cufflinks to her fiance as a groom gift. And then we have you've seen that. Oh, you have not seen this. This is not Disney, but this one right here. This one is the size of a 50-cent piece. This is 0 in the dog bed. You see how tiny wax can get? Tiny. The dog dish is the size of my pinky fingernail. Yeah, seriously. So that's why I like wax. I teach it. That's another thing I would be happy to teach people if they're interested. But seriously, the size of that little fingernail is the dog dish on zeros. And so the pumpkin nose is even smaller. Yeah. So that's why I like wax. I can get extreme detail in wax, 0 in, super tiny. So I prefer that. But Disney kept saying, Sculpey, that's what the other sculptor uses. And I was like, I'm not the other sculptor. So I sculpted in wax, and then they all fell in love with it and they left me alone. But I had to fight. Sometimes you got to stand up for your materials, and that's what I did. Last time I got a pin of the castle with crystals. So beautiful. Yes. For the 60th anniversary, I have to tell you, most of the stuff was garbage, in my opinion, okay? But if you went to a special showing, this is totally whacked. If you went to a special showing that showed you all the things that were going to be there, you got this crystal 60th anniversary diamond that was about this big. That's my favorite thing. Came in a velvet pouch. I love that. And you got that for going to a pre-show. Sometimes merchandising just baffles and boggles the mind. You can't miss the video chats this week. Work has been insanely busy, says Bonnie. Just got off 2 meetings. Glad to join, though. Yes. And you see, I'm trying to keep it around, it's noon. I'm trying to cut off at around noon. But that's the idea. And we're just about done here. Was the best. Nice sharp wax is the best. Nice sharp details. Yes. And you can't beat it. You can get as small or as large as you want. So I had to go to Mattel to learn how to use it. I'm going to be honest. I was working at Mattel doing toys for them for 1.5 years. And that's when they did it. Before we go, Leo was talking about the NASA helicopter and how cool it is to be able to reprogram code so that the helicopter can fly on Mars. So it's been delayed. And I keep trying to catch when it's going to happen. And then when my busiest days, I'm not going to speak this, but I don't want one of my busiest days to be the day when they launch it. But I'm excited. And they warn you that it's just going to go up, fly, and come down. It's just looking for its little world record. First thing to fly on Mars, but I'm still super excited to see it. So being a space squid, I'm excited. And we're hoping that it works. I mean, Leo's asking here basically how I feel about it, and I'm excited as all get out. And I want to see that sucker fly. Yes, I do. I want to see it fly. In fact, I just got my jacket that has the Crew 1 from the Dragon spaceship. And then I got a patch that says Mars. I love the NASA patch that says Mars. So that's where my money tends to go, is to NASA this year, because I'm such a space squid. and just love it. So with that, my friends, we didn't end right at 12, but we ended 10 minutes after, and we're just under 3 hours. I am working to make these shorter as we get closer and closer to the ending of the pandemic. But don't fear not. We're going to be, I'll probably do the AMAs down to about an hour, and that probably won't happen until the summertime, because I want to make sure you guys have something that will make you feel better while all of this world chaos is going on. After seeing the news this morning, I said I wanted to go at least between 2 and 3 hours, because the pain it generated was just too much to bear. So I love you guys. Please do something nice for someone. It'll make you feel so much better. And if you're feeling down, phone a friend. Don't meet this alone. Mental health is difficult. And you know that if you're struggling, that phoning a friend could be difficult. But I'm going to ask you to try real hard to do it. And message me if you need to. My dear friend Damian Morley lost his house to a fire, and in that fire was his little lovely dog Luna, and I check on him every couple of days just to tell him I love him and I care about him, and I can't imagine losing such a lovely little spirit, but that I'm here for him if he wants to talk. I'm here for him if he needs something. He's asked us just to send good wishes right now. Please don't create any campaigns to help him financially. He doesn't want that. He's got certain things in the work, and that could damage what he's got in the work. So let the good heart not take control, but do let your good heart, if you know Damien or you come across his name or you know his story, just send him your love and let him know that you probably went through some pain of losing a fur baby of yours, maybe not to a fire, but to a tragedy that is hard to even talk about. Okay. And that way he'll feel better just getting your hugs and love. Okay. And I can't wait to go see him and have him come here, because we were going to see each other when the pandemic hit. And I think that's can be a lot of pain too. I can't just fly over there and be with him and his kids, who are some of my favorite people. So basically, do something nice for someone else. Take it off of you if you can. I know if you really, really are down in the dumps, it's not easy, but I ran right here to see and talk to all you guys, and I feel 100% better for it. So thank you so much. I love you guys. Have a beautiful weekend. It's going to be a hot one here in California, 90 flipping degrees. How dare they? And I like it when it's cold. So you got a couple of things here. Have a great weekend from Deanna. She always says that. And thank you, Catherine, for saying thank you. And I love you. And I'm going to now gesso my canvas and get it ready for this next painting. Whee! I love you guys. Take care. Be well. And I will see you Monday.